Before we drop into this wild crossover, hit like, comment, and subscribe, because this is the kind of story that only gets crazier the deeper you go. In this world, the gods of Olympus are real, their children walk among mortals, and a veil called the mist makes the impossible look normal. Monsters hunt demigods on sight. Camp Half-Blood is the only safe ground most of them ever know. Sunad opens her eyes, and the bedroom is gone. No walls, no ceiling, just a white void, silent and endless. She forces chakra into a release. Nothing. Either she is dreaming, or something beyond any genjutsu has her. 4 silhouettes sharpen into faces. Gaara, Mei, Noki, Ei. Gaara speaks first. This isn't an ordinary dream. A 6th figure appears. Female, cloaked in shadow, regal like a throne wearing human shape. Power rolls off her in waves, not chakra, something older. Something that makes Tsunade's instincts scream the way they did the first time she stood in front of a true monster. "Be at ease, Cage," the woman says, and her voice lands like a command. "I mean you no harm. I have come to help you with your upcoming war." Ei barks out a laugh that has no humor in it. "How the hell do you plan to help us, and why should we trust you?" For one heartbeat, Tsunade thinks the void itself flinches. Then killing intent slams into Ei so hard he buckles. The Raikage, who has stared down armies, shivers like a man staring over the edge of a cliff. His face drains of color. His breath turns ragged, like the air is suddenly too heavy to swallow. "Were it not for certain circumstances," the shadowed woman says, "I would destroy your mind and leave your body to waste." Mortals have no right to speak to their betters like that. Ei tries to snarl back and can't. Noki's gaze flicks to Tsunade in warning. Don't escalate, don't poke the storm. The pressure eases only when she allows it. Tsunade forces her voice steady. "If you mean to help, prove it. Tell us who you are." The woman pauses. A faint, almost human sigh. Then the shadows peel away as if she's letting the dreamer behind the dream show her face. Red hair, violet eyes, a grin that is too familiar. Tsunade's jaw drops before she can stop it. "Kushina?" Kushina Uzumaki nods like, "This is the most normal thing in the world. It's me, Busty-chan." Tsunade's scowl snaps into place on reflex, then cracks because Kushina is supposed to be dead. Kushina rubs the back of her head, sheepish for a second, then her posture shifts. The regal weight returns. The air remembers her power. "I'm sorry for how you were encouraged to come here. When I'm the dreamer, I have less patience for mortals, especially when you might cause problems for things I deeply care about." "Dreamer?" Tsunade repeats. Kushina's expression turns complicated, like she's choosing which truth to hand over without crushing them with the rest. "In this realm, there is a goddess who dreams. When she dreams, she becomes me. When she wakes, I return to her. I am connected and separate. She is all that I am, but I am not all that she is." Then her eyes soften, and Tsunade feels the shift like a warm blade sliding out of a sheath. "All you need to know is this. She and I are committed to protecting her son." Tsunade's stomach drops. Her son, Naruto? Kushina's gaze sharpens, a mother's heat wrapped around something ancient. "Yes." Tsunade hears herself speak before she's ready. "That doesn't make sense." Kushina's smile fades. Pain flickers, real pain, not theatrical. "You never realize, Tsunade. All female Jinchukriki are sterile. The beast's chakra, it takes that from you." Tsunade's breath catches. She thinks of Mito, of how history never talked about what was lost. She thinks of Kushina, laughing and furious and alive, before she wasn't. Kushina continues, voice low. "My dreamer stirred at my distress. She willed one of her eggs and a greater fraction of her essence into me so that Naruto could be born." The void feels colder. Tsunade can almost hear the distant thunder of war, of Madara's shadow stretching over the nations. And suddenly Naruto isn't just a Jinchuriki, he's a link, a bridge, a target. I finally finds his voice again. "Why bring us here?" Kushina's gaze hardens into strategy. "Because Madara will come for the beasts, and if he gets Naruto, your world ends. You need to keep him out of reach." The Kage exchange looks. They've all been dancing around it, but hearing it said like a verdict locks the room into place. Tsunade thinks of Naruto's grin, his stubbornness, his refusal to run. And she tastes ash because she knows what she has to say. Later, Naruto stands in the void with them, an adult shinobi with calm posture and battle-worn eyes. Tsunade tells him the plan straight. No softening, no lies. "Madara will send the bulk of his force wherever you are," she says. "He will drown the battlefield in bija and firepower until everyone around you is cut down. If you're captured, he resurrects the 10 tails. We cannot take that risk." Naruto's face doesn't move at first. His eyes do. They flick to each Kage, searching for the trick, for the loophole, for the angle where he can still fight. So you're sending me away, he says. It isn't a question. Kushina steps forward. To a realm he cannot access. A land you will train in until the war is over, or until we find a way to stop him for good. Naruto's jaw tightens. My friends are out there. And the best way to keep them alive, Tsunade says, forcing the words to her own throat, is for you to leave. For a moment, Naruto looks hollowed out. He understands strategy. He understands being a vital asset. Jiraiya drilled that into him with games and hard lessons. But understanding doesn't stop the heart from taking it as betrayal. He exhales slow, like he's compressing an explosion inside his ribs. You're asking me to trust you, he says quietly, with everyone I love. Tsunade meets his gaze. I'm asking you to save them by not being there. Kushina's hand lifts as if she wants to touch his cheek, then stops. Something in her pulls back, like there are rules here, even a goddess doesn't break easily. You will not be alone, she says. Not truly. Naruto's eyes narrow. You know more than you're saying. Kushina smiles, and for an instant Tsunade sees both the mother Naruto lost and the divine force wearing her like armor. Of course I do. The decision is made. The war doesn't wait. The world doesn't bend for one man's feelings, no matter how badly he wants it to. When Naruto leaves the void, the dream collapses behind him like a closing door. And somewhere far away beyond chakra, beyond the elemental countries, beyond the rules that shaped his entire life, another world opens its eyes. In a different layer of that same dreaming, far above mortals, where vows bite harder than steel, Kushina faces another goddess. Artemis stands rigid at first, silver-eyed and proud, bow in hand like the world is her hunting ground. Then Kushina speaks one quiet sentence, and that pride cracks. Artemis drops to her knees, not in weakness, but in fear of a promise she cannot break. Please, Artemis says, voice raw, don't make him a chain. I only swore that pact to protect my hunters. In those old days, Aphrodite and Eros twisted desire into a weapon. My followers were targeted, dragged into scandal and cruelty because some mortal thought lust was love. I did what I had to keep them safe. Kushina's gaze softens, and she wipes the tears from Artemis's face like a mother calming a storm. I swear by Styx, she says, I will not force Naruto into a marriage just to trap you. But I will not hand him to you either. Your hunter's fate rests on whether you can earn his heart. Artemis flinches. 9 years, Kushina finishes, win him or lose them. He wakes up choking on air that tastes different. His body is wrong. Smaller, lighter. Bones rearranged into a shape he hasn't worn since he was a child. His hands look too small to hold a kunai properly. His feet don't reach the edge of the bed. For half a second, panic claws up his throat. Then the adult mind behind it clamps down and breathes through it. He sits up. The blanket slides off, and he sees it again. The proof. He is in the body of a 9-year-old boy. On the nightstand sits a letter, folded neatly, his name written on the front in handwriting he would recognize anywhere. Naruto. His fingers tremble as he opens it, and his mother's voice pours out in ink. My son, she doesn't waste time. She tells him the truth like a kunai to the gut. Your body has been de-aged to that of a 9-year-old. This is the age you would be at if you had been born in this world. He swallows hard. She explains why the shift happens, like the jutsu insists on making him fit the new realm's shape. She tells him he may find his abilities closer to what he had before traveling with Jiraiya because of her blood and the Nine-Tails' influence. She warns him that the divine blood in him is no longer suppressed the way it was in the shinobi world, and that strange abilities may surface. She tells him she cannot raise him like a normal mother. Laws here bind even gods. She asks him to understand, even if he hates her for it. Naruto's knuckles whiten around the paper. He feels anger, sharp and immediate, and then he feels something worse underneath it, loneliness. A door opens down the hall. Voices filter in. English strange, but understandable, like his brain is being gifted translation without asking permission. Footsteps. A woman's voice, warm, busy, like she's trying to make a home out of a place that was never meant to be one. Naruto folds the letter carefully. He tucks it away like a weapon. Then he stands, smaller legs steadying under him, and steps toward the unknown. Days blur into new routines and new rules. He keeps chakra and war memories locked behind his teeth. He watches, listens, and sleeps light. And the dreams begin. Some nights are harmless, broken images of people he knows back home, voices muffled by distance like he's hearing them through water. Other nights are worse. Events that feel ordinary until the morning news repeats them, like the world is stuck on a loop. And then there are the dreams that show teenagers fighting monsters with bronze weapons, their faces smudged by fear and fury, moving like they have been trained to kill the unreal. Naruto wakes from those with his heart pounding, hand reaching for a kunai that isn't there. He starts training in secret, Not flashy, not stupid, he is not reckless, he knows what attention costs. A single shadow clone in the wrong place is a ripple that becomes a wave. His gut tells him he's being hunted, not by shinobi, by something that doesn't care about nations. The day the field trip happens, a yellow school bus hums along the road. Naruto sits near the back, watching the world outside like it might lunge. At the front, Mrs. Myrie. Frizzle talks with the kind of energy that feels like it could power a city. Bright clothes, bright voice, bright presence. She's the sort of adult who seems impossible to ambush. Naruto doesn't trust that. His instincts catch on a thread and pull. A boy named Arnold is stiff in his seat, eyes wide, whispering warnings no one wants to hear. He keeps saying something is wrong. He keeps insisting there are monsters. The other kids roll their eyes. They tease him. They call him paranoid. Ms. Frizzle laughs it off too fast. There is no such thing as monsters, she says, and the words land like a rehearsed line. Naruto leans closer to Arnold, voice quiet. You're not lying, he murmurs, so why is everyone acting like you're crazy? Arnold's shoulders sag like the world has been pressing on them for weeks. Because every time I tell the truth, something makes it look like I didn't, he whispers back, like I imagined it. Naruto's stomach knots. A veil, a trick of perception. The mist, his mother's letter, whispers from memory, a force that edits reality in people's minds so they can keep walking forward without screaming. The bus turns off onto a rougher road, heading toward an old garage and workshop for a perfectly normal stop on a perfectly normal trip. Naruto watches Miss Frizzle's hands on the steering wheel. He watches the way her eyes track reflections in the windows like she's checking for tails. He watches the way she flinches when Arnold speaks too close to the truth. Whatever she isn't just a teacher. The bus stops. Kids spill out. They swarm the building like ants. Naruto steps down last, scanning corners, listening for the absence of normal sounds. The air is too still. The birds are too quiet. Inside the garage, tools hang on walls. Metal smells. Oil. Rust. It feels like a place built for work, not safety. Arnold hovers near Naruto like a man clinging to a lifeline. This is where it happens, he whispers. I know it. Naruto's eyes flick to Miss Frizzle. She is smiling at the kids, but there's tension in the corners of her mouth, like she's forcing the expression to stay on. Then the thumping starts. Heavy, slow, like a giant heart beating in the walls. The kids don't notice at first. They are too loud, too wrapped in their own noise. The mist does its work, smoothing the edges of fear. Naruto notices. His breathing slows. His mind runs exits and angles. Miss Frizzle's head snaps toward the back of the building. Her smile dies. Everyone, she says, voice too bright, too sharp. Stay together. Too late. The thumping becomes footsteps. Shadows swell in the doorway. 3 massive shapes step into view, cyclopes, each one a wall of muscle and scars, dressed like outlaw bikers, skin inked with violent tattoos. Their clothes are stained dark with old blood. Their stench is wrong, like decay wearing human meat as perfume. A few kids scream. Most of them don't. Most of them blink, and their minds try to explain what they're seeing into something safe. Men in costumes, actors, a prank. Anything but monsters. The center Cyclops smiles, and the smile is a promise. Well, it rumbles, voice like rocks grinding. It isn't often we find half-bloods this far north. Most of your kind hides behind your camp. Naruto's eyes narrow. Camp. Half-blood. The word hits like a map unfolding in his head. This is the world from the dreams. This is the world his mother comes from. This is the world that will not leave him alone. The Cyclops inhales, nostrils flaring, tasting the air like a predator tasting a trail. Its single eye fixes on Miss Frizzle with greedy recognition. And you, it growls, you smell rare. What's you please? Frizzle's face goes pale, but her posture hardens. Back away, she warns, and the warmth drains out of her voice. Now. The Cyclops laughs. The sound shakes dust from the ceiling. Deal with the others. It tells its brothers, and they begin to fan out, blocking exits, hurting prey. The kids finally understand enough to panic. Naruto moves before fear can infect him. He steps between the Cyclopes and the nearest cluster of students. His body is small, but his presence isn't. His eyes are steady. His stance is wrong for a child. Too grounded, too ready. Ms. Mace cult life. Frizzle's gaze snaps to him, sharp as a blade. For a second, recognition flickers there too, like she's been waiting to see what kind of weapon the gods dropped into her path. Naruto keeps his voice low, for her ears only. Get them out. What are you? She breathes. A problem, he answers, and it's the most honest thing he can say. The left Cyclops swings a fist the size of Naruto's torso at a screaming kid who can't get their legs to work. Naruto's hand flashes up. Chakra floods his palm, controlled, compressed. He doesn't have the luxury of long seals. He doesn't have the luxury of time. He intercepts the blow with a burst that cracks like thunder, forcing the fist off course. The impact drives him back a step. Small body, heavy force, but he holds. The Cyclops blinks, surprised. Its eye narrows. That's not bronze, it snarls. Naruto's mouth twists. No, he says, and the air around him tightens. It's worse. Behind him, Ms. Frizzle shouts for the kids to run, to move, to stop freezing. Some obey. Some don't. The mist fights the truth even as truth bites. Naruto's shadow stretches. For an instant, he considers clones. Too loud, too visible. But the alternative is watching children die because his pride wants to stay hidden. He exhales, and a single shadow clone snaps into existence beside him. Silent, precise, like a mirror. The Cyclopes recoil, confusion flashing. Magic, one growls. Naruto's eyes don't leave them. Call it whatever you want. He and his clone move together. A practiced dance. The clone slams a kick into a Cyclops' knee to destabilize it. Naruto drives forward, small fists wrapped in chakra, striking a pressure point he shouldn't know exists on a creature that shouldn't exist at all. It staggers. It doesn't fall. These things are built for war. The center Cyclops lunges toward Ms. Frizzle, and Naruto's gut drops as he sees the angle, sees the way it will cut off the only adult who seems to understand the rules of this world. Mid-roll, if you're still with this story right now, don't blink, because the next moment is where everything changes. Naruto moves. He throws himself between them, too late to be clean, just in time to matter. The Cyclops' clawed hand rakes across his jacket, tearing fabric, drawing blood. Pain flashes. Naruto doesn't scream. He bites it down and answers with a burst of chakra that slams into the monster's chest like a battering ram. The Cyclops stumbles back, roaring. Ms. Frizzle grabs the kid by the shoulder and shoves them toward the door. Go, she snaps. Her eyes flick to Naruto again, and there is something like fear there, because whatever he is, he's a child's body standing in front of nightmares without flinching. Naruto's clone pops under a heavy blow, dissolving into smoke. Naruto feels the feedback like a sting in his skull and uses it as fuel. He can't win this the way he wins shinobi fights. He doesn't have room. He doesn't have weapons. He has civilians everywhere and enemies who don't care about collateral. So he does what he has always done when outmatched. He adapts. He feints left, drawing the right Cyclops' attention, then pivots and drives his palm into the ground. Chakra pulses through the floor. The concrete cracks, not like an earthquake, but like the building itself is flinching away from him. The Cyclopes hesitate. They feel it. They feel the wrongness. Ms. Frizzle uses the opening. She throws something small and metal, an improvised distraction, then darts through the chaos, shepherding kids out in a wave of terrified bodies. Naruto backs toward the door, eyes never leaving the monsters. His mind is already calculating the next step, the next safe zone, the next truth. Camp Half-Blood. That's where the Half-Bloods go. That's where the monsters don't walk in so easily. That's where the god's eyes turn sharp. The center, Cyclops snarls, furious that prey is slipping away. It takes a step toward Naruto, and its single eye burns with promise. Naruto's hand curls into a fist. He is small and exposed, but not helpless. And when he looks at that monster, he doesn't see a myth. He sees a battlefield. He sees the beginning. He retreats through the doorway, bleeding, breathing steady, and the Cyclops follows because now it knows he's worth the hunt. Outside, the cold air hits Naruto's lungs like a slap. The parking lot is chaos. Children scatter in every direction, some sprinting, some frozen, some turning in circles like their minds can't decide what reality is allowed to be. Smoke leaks out of the garage doors. Behind him, the Cyclops' footsteps thud closer, each one shaking the ground like an approaching storm. Ms. Frizzle is already moving. She doesn't run like a teacher. She runs like someone who has done this before, grabbing collars, yanking kids into motion, barking orders that cut through panic. Arnold, Carlos, Phoebe, on the bus now! Her voice snaps like a whip. Everybody, keep moving. Don't look back. Naruto's eyes flick to the bus. A bright yellow target. Thin metal. Glass. No armor. No cover. It's a trap if he lets the Cyclops reach it. He pivots, planting himself between the monster and the crowd. His small body looks ridiculous in that position until the air changes around him. Chakra tightens, contained, sharp as wire. The Cyclops bursts through the garage doors and roars, its single eye locking onto Naruto like a spear point. You, it growls, and the word carries hunger. You're not like the others. Naruto doesn't answer. He listens. There's a second set of heavy steps behind it. Another Cyclops, laughing. And somewhere in the panic, he hears metal creak as the bus door struggles to close under the weight of kids pushing inside. Mrs. Marr. Frizzle turns her head just enough to meet Naruto's eyes. It's a look that says, I can get them out, but I can't do it if you fall. Naruto's jaw tightens. He doesn't get the luxury of being angry about this world. He doesn't get to mourn being ripped away from his war. Right now, he is 9 years old with an adult's mind and a monster's attention. So he makes a choice. He raises his hands, not for seals, but for a stance. Then he spits a breath out slow and lets chakra flare in a way he swore he wouldn't. Not a full reveal. Not a tailed beast cloak. Just enough to make the air vibrate. A flicker of orange. A pressure in the ground. The Cyclops' eye widens. "Oh," it says, voice turning reverent. "That's why you stink like lightning and old blood." Naruto moves. He sprints forward instead of back because predators expect prey to flee. He slips under the Cyclops' first swing, slides across gravel, and slams his palm into the monster's ankle with a burst of chakra that detonates like a punch from inside. Bone doesn't break, but the Cyclops stumbles, off balance. Naruto uses the moment to angle it away from the bus. He keeps his feet light, always moving, always circling, so the monster has to turn with him. The second Cyclops barrels toward the bus anyway, eye fixed on the screaming kids like their food laid out on a table. Naruto's heart kicks. His control tightens. No more. He snaps his fingers toward the second Cyclops and calls a clone into existence. Silent, precise, appearing between the monster and the bus with a crack of displaced air. The clone raises both hands, chakra bursting outward like a shove. It isn't enough to stop the Cyclops, but it's enough to make it hesitate, and that hesitation buys Ms. Frizzle the only thing she needs. Time. The bus door slams shut. The engine coughs to life. Frizzle takes the driver's seat, but she's not smiling now. Her face is set, jaw clenched, eyes sharp. She looks less like a teacher and more like a soldier forced into a role she hates. The bus lurches forward. The Cyclops roars and throws itself at the side of the bus, fist crashing into the metal with a sound like a car wreck. The bus sways, tires squealing, but it keeps moving. Naruto's clone takes the hit meant for the bus, bracing, shoving, absorbing the impact until it pops into smoke. Naruto feels the feedback like a flare of pain behind his eyes. He staggers. The first Cyclops seizes the opening and swings again. Naruto ducks, but the wind of the blow clips his shoulder, spinning him, driving him to one knee. Gravel bites his skin. Blood drips warm down his arm. The Cyclops leans down, its breath foul, hot, and wet. "Little half-blood," it growls, "you're going to scream for me." Naruto looks up, blue eyes cold. "You're not the first monster to say that." The Cyclops blinks. Naruto surges upward and drives his head into the creature's face. The impact jars his skull, but it makes the monster recoil, more from surprise than damage. Naruto uses that recoil to slip past, sprinting toward the road. The bus is already gaining distance, swerving hard as Miss Frizzle fights to keep control. Naruto runs after it, small legs pumping, breath steady, pain ignored. The road stretches long and empty in both directions. Trees press in close, dark, and silent. The Cyclopes thunder behind him, fast for their size, laughing like they're chasing a rabbit that doesn't understand it's already dead. Naruto's mind calculates again. He can't outrun them. Not like this. Not in this body. So he stops. He spins and plants his feet in the middle of the road. The Cyclops slows, confused. Its brothers slow too, forming a staggered line, blocking the way, looming over him like mountains. Naruto raises one hand. Chakra pulls into his palm, blue and bright. Not a full sphere. Not the kind of technique that lights up the night and draws attention for miles, but enough to make the air scream. The Cyclops' eye narrows. That's the trick? Naruto's mouth twists. This is the warning. He slams his palm forward and releases the chakra in a sharp, focused burst. Not a Rasengan, not yet, but a concussive blast meant to blind and stagger. The wave hits the Cyclopes' faces. They flinch, roaring, throwing up their arms. Naruto uses the second of blindness to bolt sideways into the tree line. Branches slap him. Cold air tears at his lungs. The forest swallows him whole. Behind him, the Cyclopes crash after him, snapping trees, ripping through brush, not subtle, not careful. They don't need to be. They think nothing in this world can truly hide from them. They don't understand shinobi. Naruto drops into the undergrowth and stills his breathing until it is nearly nothing. He moves in bursts, always changing direction, always leaving false trails. Broken twigs here, disturbed leaves there, guiding the monsters in circles. But even as he does it, he feels the thread around his neck tightening. He is hunted. And this isn't a war with rules he understands. Chakra isn't currency here. Power is, scent is, bloodline is. He remembers his mother's letter, the line that says his divine blood is no longer suppressed. He remembers his mother's words in the dream, "You will not be alone, not truly." He hates the comfort of that, because it sounds like a leash. The Cyclopes' voices fade, then return, then fade again, their pursuit frustrated by the forest's density. Naruto keeps moving until the sound of the road is distant. Then a new voice speaks behind him. Stop. Naruto freezes. Not because the word is loud, because it is absolute. He turns slowly, eyes scanning. A woman steps out from behind a tree like she was part of the bark itself. Tall, calm, wearing a long coat that looks too clean for this wilderness. Her hair is dark, pulled back. Her eyes are tired in a way that feels older than mortal years. And her scent, Naruto's instincts catch it immediately, is wrong. Not monstrous, not human, something in between. You shouldn't have led them toward the town, she says, voice quiet, controlled. Naruto's chin lifts. I didn't. She studies him like she's reading a report. You're the half-blood. Naruto doesn't answer. Her gaze flicks to the blood on his sleeve, to the torn jacket, to the way he holds his weight ready to spring. You're not supposed to be this young, she murmurs. Naruto's eyes narrow. Who are you? The woman's mouth tightens. Someone trying to keep you alive long enough to reach where you belong. Camp, Naruto says, testing the word. Her expression shifts, a fraction of relief. You've heard of it. Naruto watches her hands. No weapon visible. But that doesn't mean she doesn't have one. In the shinobi world, a smile could kill you. In this world, a god's favor could. He keeps his voice flat. Ms. Frizzle, she knows. The woman's eyes flick. Valerie is reckless. Naruto's stomach twists. She left me. She left you because if she didn't, all those children would have died. The woman snaps, and the sudden edge in her voice is real. Then she reins it back in. She's doing what she can, so am I. Naruto looks past her, hearing distant crashes. The Cyclopes are still searching. Getting closer, the woman exhales. We don't have time. She reaches into her coat and pulls out a small object. A pen. Naruto's brow furrows. Then his instincts scream because he recognizes the subtle shift, like the pen is heavier than it should be. She flicks it in her fingers and it changes. The pen stretches, metal blooming like a living thing until it becomes a short blade with a leaf-shaped bronze edge. Celestial bronze. Naruto's eyes narrow. Magic metal. Not magic, she corrects automatically like she said it 100 times. Divine. It kills monsters. It passes through mortals. Naruto's throat tightens. A weapon made to fight a specific kind of enemy. He wants it. He also wants to know why she's offering it. You carry this, she says, holding it out, and you stop using whatever that is. Her gaze darts to the faint residue of chakra like it makes her skin itch. It draws attention. Naruto stares at the blade. The urge to take it is immediate, but taking it is a trust. Trust is expensive. What do you want? He asks. The woman's face hardens. I want you to survive, because if you don't, the monsters that come next won't stop at you. Naruto's fingers close around the hilt. The metal is warm. It hums faintly, like it recognizes the hand that holds it. The woman nods once. Good. A crash explodes nearby. A tree snaps like a twig. The Cyclops' roar shakes birds out of the canopy. The woman grabs Naruto's shoulder. Her grip is ironed. Run. Stay close. Don't speak unless you have to. Naruto moves with her, weaving through the woods at a pace that would break most adults. She doesn't slow. She doesn't pant. She moves like the forest is her home. They reach a narrow gap between two boulders. The woman shoves Naruto into it, then slides in after him. It's cramped, a tight fissure in rock that hides them from direct sight. The Cyclops thunders into the clearing they just left, sniffing the air. Naruto holds his breath. The Cyclops' eye scans the trees. Half-blood, it bellows. I can smell you. The woman's hand clamps over Naruto's mouth. Her eyes lock on his. A warning. Your breathing is too loud. Your heart is too fast. Naruto forces himself still. He thinks of the ANBU training. He thinks of holding position in rain for hours without shivering. He thinks of being hunted by people who would kill him for a bounty. He becomes stone. The Cyclops stomps closer, sniffing, snarling. It slams a fist into a tree. Bark explodes. The monster's breath gusts across the boulders. For one terrifying second, Naruto thinks it will find them anyway. That scent will betray him. That divine blood will call to it like a bell. Then a new sound cuts through the forest. Sharp, metallic, like a horn. The Cyclops freezes. Its brothers freeze too. The monsters snarl in irritation, like dogs being called away from a fresh kill. They turn, stomping off toward the sound, voices cursing, promising they'll return. When the forest falls silent again, Naruto finally exhales. The woman releases him and leans back, eyes closed for a heartbeat, as if she is forcing herself not to shake. Naruto watches her. That sound. She opens her eyes. A signal. Someone drew them off. Naruto's jaw tightens. Someone saved me. The woman's mouth twists. Don't romanticize it. In this world, people help you because your survival benefits them, or because their conscience won't let them do otherwise. Naruto absorbs that without flinching. It sounds like politics. It sounds like shinobi. What's your name? He asks. She hesitates, like names have weight. Call me Eleanor. Naruto nods once. Naruto. Eleanor studies him. That much I know. They move again, staying in the trees until the road appears through the branches. A narrow rural highway. No cars. The bus is gone. Naruto's chest tightens. He tells himself it's fine. Miss Frizzle got the kids out. That was the priority. He can find his own way. But the part of him that remembers being alone as a child, the part that remembers the village's eyes, the whispers, the isolation, burns hot. Eleanor speaks like she hears his thoughts. You're not going back to that house. Naruto looks at her sharply. I wasn't planning to. Good, she says, because it isn't safe now. It never was. You were protected by luck. That luck is gone. Naruto grips the celestial bronze blade, feeling its weight. You're taking me to camp. Eleanor nods. Eventually. Naruto's eyes narrow. Eventually means not now. Eleanor's gaze hardens. Not now. Not until you understand what you are. Not until you stop moving like a weapon that doesn't know the rules of the battlefield. Naruto's voice goes cold. I know rules. You know your rules, Eleanor snaps. Not theirs. Naruto stares at her. He wants to argue. He wants to say he's fought gods in his own way, stared down beasts, survived betrayal, endured war. But he doesn't know this world's laws. That's true. And being stubborn here will get him killed and get other people killed with him. Eleanor leads him to a small cabin tucked deep in the trees far from the road. It looks ordinary, a place a hunter might stay, a place no one would notice, but the air around it feels different, warm, safe, like the world is holding its breath here. Eleanor stops at the threshold and gestures Naruto inside. This is a sanctuary. Naruto steps in and immediately feels a difference. The pressure in his chest eases. The forest watching silence retreats. What did you do? He asks. Eleanor closes the door. The hearth is sacred. Offerings. Boundaries. Old rules the monsters respect, even if they hate them. Naruto glances at the fireplace. Like seals. Eleanor pauses, then nods once. Like seals. The cabin is simple. A table, 2 chairs, a cot, shelves lined with jars and dried herbs, a small kitchen area, a trunk with supplies. Not comfortable, not luxurious, but safe. Eleanor pulls a small pouch from her coat and sets it on the table. Coins clink inside. Drachma. Naruto watches. Money? Not mortal money, she says. It buys favors, makes calls, opens doors. Naruto hears the unspoken part. It also buys betrayal. Eleanor sits across from him, folding her hands like she's about to deliver a lecture she hates giving. Listen carefully. In this world, you're a demigod, a half-blood. You carry the scent of a god in your veins, and monsters hunt that scent like sharks hunt blood. Naruto's eyes flicker. My mother said something like that. Eleanor's gaze sharpens. You've had contact with your divine parent. Naruto doesn't answer. That's too much truth. That's too many consequences. Eleanor reads his silence and exhales. Fine, keep your secrets. She leans forward. The mist hides monsters from most mortals. It edits what people see. A cyclops becomes a biker. A sword becomes a bat. A mortal's mind fills in the gaps because it would rather lie than break. Naruto remembers the children blinking at monsters like they were costumes. His jaw tightens. The ones who can see through it, Eleanor continues, are the ones the monsters want. Demigods, some rare mortals, people like your teacher. Naruto's fists clench. Miss Frizzle, Valerie. Eleanor nods. Valerie Frizzle is not human. Naruto's eyes narrow. Then what is she? Eleanor hesitates, then answers carefully. A protector. A creature of old magic bound to a role. She isn't your enemy. Naruto absorbs that. He thinks of the way Valerie moved, the way she fought fear with command. What happens now? He asks. Eleanor's eyes go distant. Now you learn. Fast. The next days become routine. Eleanor teaches him the rules of the hearth. How to make an offering before a fire. How to speak the old names without spitting in the face of something that might be listening. How to respect the sanctuary line like it's a blood oath. Naruto listens. He learns. Then she teaches him the weapons. Celestial bronze feels strange in his hands at first. Too light, too heavy, balanced differently than steel. It doesn't cut wood. It doesn't cut him. But when Eleanor brings in a small captured creature, something like a lizard with too many teeth, and taps it with the bronze, the monster hisses and burns like it's been branded. Naruto's gaze sharpens. It kills monsters. Eleanor nods. And only monsters. Which means mortals can't see the wounds it makes. They don't understand the threat. That's why we fight in secret. Naruto thinks of shinobi, of hidden wars, of villages pretending peace while blood soaks the ground. It isn't new. Eleanor tests him in combat. Not with chakra, she forbids it unless necessary, but with stance, footwork, timing. Naruto adapts quickly. Too quickly. Eleanor's eyes narrow one afternoon as he parries and counters like a trained killer instead of a child. "How old are you?" she asks quietly. "Really?" Naruto's heart beats once, hard. He meets her gaze and gives her nothing. "Old enough." Eleanor watches him a long moment, then she nods once. Fine. She doesn't push further, but the air between them changes. She treats him less like a child and more like a loaded weapon someone forgot to lock away. At night, Naruto dreams. Not of Konoha anymore. Not of the war he left behind. He dreams of a camp by the sea, cabins lit by lanterns, kids training with swords under a sky that feels heavy with gods watching. He dreams of a silver-eyed girl with a bow standing on a cliff, staring into the horizon like she is waiting for something she hates. He wakes with his heart pounding. Eleanor notices. One evening, she sits by the fire and tosses a pinch of dried leaves into the flame. The smoke twists into shapes, brief images that vanish before Naruto can fully understand them. "Your dreams are connected," Eleanor says. Naruto's eyes narrow. "To what?" "To the gods," she says bluntly. "To the fates. To the realm you came from. This world is full of strings. Some people feel them more than others." Naruto grips his cup hard. "I don't like strings." Eleanor's mouth twitches. "Nobody does. But here, you either learn to see them, or you get strangled by them. The truth is simple, and it lands like a stone. Weeks pass. The monsters come. Not in full force. Not like the Cyclopes. Smaller things. Scouts. Hungry, half-mad creatures drawn by Naruto's scent, but wary of Eleanor's sanctuary. They circle at the edge of the woods, testing, watching. Naruto can feel them sometimes, like the forest has eyes. One night, Eleanor wakes him with a hand over his mouth. Her eyes are sharp. Silent command. Naruto slides out of bed without sound, bronze blade in hand. Something scratches at the cabin door. Slow. Patient. Naruto's breath stays calm. Eleanor gestures toward the hearth. She tosses something into the fire drachma, glinting gold, and murmurs a name Naruto doesn't recognize. The flame flares. The sanctuary line strengthens. The scratching stops. A voice whispers through the wood. "Half-blood," it hisses. "Come out, I can make you strong." Naruto's eyes narrow. Manipulation? Temptation. He stays silent. The voice grows louder. "Your mother can't protect you forever." Naruto's jaw tightens. Eleanor watches him, measuring his reaction. She sees the micro-flinch. She sees the way his grip tightens. After a long minute, the presence fades, retreating into the night. Naruto exhales. Eleanor speaks quietly. "That's how it starts. They test your boundaries. They try to make you step outside your protections." Naruto's voice is low. "They mention my mother." Eleanor's eyes sharpen. "They know." Naruto's chest tightens. "So it's true." Contact with Kushina. Contact with that other power has marked him, lit him up like a beacon. He hates it. The next morning, Eleanor makes the decision. "We leave," she says. Naruto looks up. "Now?" "Now," Eleanor confirms. The sanctuary is holding, but the pressure is building. The longer you stay here, the bigger the monsters that come. Eventually, something will arrive that doesn't care about hearth rules. Naruto's stomach twists. "Then we go to camp." Eleanor hesitates. Naruto catches it. "You still don't want to." Eleanor's face tightens. Camp Half-Blood is safe in ways mortals don't understand. But it is also a place where every demigod is catalogued, watched, claimed. Gods notice you there. Naruto's voice goes colder. "Gods already notice me." Eleanor holds his gaze. "Yes, which means you don't want to walk into their territory unprepared." Naruto thinks of the Cyclops calling him rare. He thinks of the voice in the night knowing his mother. He thinks of the strings. He nods once. "Then prepare me." They travel carefully, avoiding towns, using back roads, moving like fugitives. Eleanor has methods. She knows which gas stations feel wrong, which diners are safe, which bridges have offerings hidden underneath by people who know the old rules. Naruto watches and learns. He also feels the difference the closer they get to civilization. The air grows heavier. The world feels more crowded, more watched. The mist thickens in places, like reality itself is trying harder to keep secrets intact. They stop at a rest area as dusk sinks. Eleanor buys food with mortal cash. She keeps her head down. She never lingers. Naruto sits at a picnic table, watching families laugh and eat like monsters aren't real, and gods aren't petty, and fate doesn't stalk the edges of their lives. He envies them. He hates that he envies them. Eleanor returns and sets a bottle of water in front of him. "Drink." Naruto drinks. Then she sits across from him and finally says the thing she's been circling for days. "You need to decide what you're going to be," she says. Naruto's eyes narrow. "I already am." Eleanor shakes her head. "Not in your world. In this one, here, you are not judged by your village. You are judged by your parent. By what you represent. By what they think you owe them." Naruto's stomach tightens. I don't know gods anything. Eleanor's gaze hardens. Say that at camp and you might not survive the week. Naruto stares at her, heat rising in his chest. Then he forces it down. Emotion is fuel, but if you let it steer, you crash. What do I need to know? He asks. Eleanor's posture shifts, like she's accepting the reality of what's coming. First, she says, don't provoke the cabins. They will try to place you. They will try to claim you. Some demigods base their entire identity on who their godly parent is. It becomes a weapon, a hierarchy. I hierarchy narrow, and if I refuse? Eleanor's mouth twists. Then you become an outsider. Outsiders don't get help when things go wrong. Naruto remembers being an outsider. He remembers standing alone on swings while everyone else went home. He remembers the weight of eyes that didn't see him as human. He swallows. Second, Eleanor continues, there are gods who will look at you and see opportunity. Hera, Athena, Ares, Apollo, Artemis. Her voice tightens slightly on that last name. Naruto catches it. Artemis. Eleanor hesitates. She is complicated. She protects her own. She can also be cruel in the name of protection. Naruto's mind flashes to the silver-eyed girl in his dreams, the way she looked like she was waiting to shoot something. He keeps his voice flat. Why would she care about me? Eleanor's gaze holds his for a long moment. Then she looks away, because sometimes gods make vows they regret. Naruto's chest tightens. That sounds like strings again. He wants to demand answers, but Eleanor clearly isn't going to give them. Or can't. They leave the rest area and continue south. That night, they stop at another safe place, a small abandoned church on a hill. Eleanor whispers an offering into the darkness and the air shifts, as if something unseen acknowledges her. Naruto sleeps lightly. He wakes to movement, a shadow at the doorway. Small, lean, too quick. Naruto's hand snaps to his bronze blade. A boy steps inside. Not a kid. A teenager, maybe 16, dark hair, sharp eyes. A grin that looks like it belongs to someone who's never had to pay for his mistakes. Naruto's body tenses. The boy holds up empty hands. Easy, I'm not here to hurt you. Eleanor is already awake, sitting up with a knife in her hand. Get out, she hisses. The boy laughs softly. That's no way to greet family. Naruto's eyes narrow. Family? The boy's gaze slides to Naruto, assessing him like a prize. So that's him. Naruto's grip tightens. Who are you? The boy tilts his head. A messenger. His grin widens. And maybe your ticket to not dying before you even reach camp. Eleanor's voice is ice. He doesn't need you. The boy shrugs. Sure, you can keep playing protector, but you know it's getting worse. His eyes flick to Naruto's bronze blade. Cute toy. Won't save you when the bigger ones come. Naruto's stomach tightens. Why are you here? The boy's grin fades into something sharper. Because someone wants you alive. Someone powerful. Naruto's pulse kicks. My mother? The boy laughs. Too loud. Too surprised. No, not her. Eleanor's eyes flash. Leave. The boy leans in, voice dropping. Camp is already talking. Word travels. A half-blood in Alaska who smells like lightning, who fights like a veteran, who makes Cyclopes back off. His eyes glitter. The gods have started paying attention. Naruto's chest tightens. So it's true. Even before he reaches camp, he is a rumor. The boy straightens. I'm taking you to camp. Tonight. Eleanor rises like a blade being drawn. You are not. The boy's gaze sharpens, and for a second, something ancient flickers behind it. Something that isn't mortal arrogance but inherited power. You don't get to decide. Naruto shifts, placing himself slightly between them. His voice is calm. Stop. Both of you. They both look at him. Naruto's eyes are cold, older than his face. If you're taking me, he says to the boy, tell me your name. The boy smiles slowly. Luke. Naruto watches him, measuring the way he stands, the way his weight shifts. Luke moves like a fighter, not like a normal teenager. He's trained, maybe camp trained. Naruto's gaze flicks to Eleanor. If I go with him, you stop being a target. Eleanor's jaw tightens. That isn't your responsibility. Naruto's voice stays level. It is, if I'm the one drawing monsters. Luke laughs quietly, pleased, smart. Eleanor grabs Naruto's shoulder, eyes fierce. You don't trust him. Naruto looks at Luke again. I don't. Luke spreads his hands. You don't have to. You just have to come. Naruto's mind moves fast. Eleanor has protected him, taught him, kept him alive. Luke feels like trouble, like a blade with a smile. But Luke also knows camp, and the longer Naruto lingers outside it, the worse the monsters become. He makes the decision the way shinobi do, not with comfort, with survival. Naruto nods once. Fine. Eleanor's eyes flare, but she doesn't argue further. She knows the same math he does. Luke grins and turns toward the door. Then let's move. The longer we stay, the louder you smell. They leave the church and step into the night. The wind is colder now. The sky is starless. Naruto walks between Eleanor and Luke, bronze blade hidden under his jacket, every sense tuned. Luke talks as they move, like he can't help himself. Camp Half-Blood is in New York, Long Island, protected by boundaries. Monsters have a hard time getting in. Naruto keeps his voice flat. Hard time isn't the same as impossible. Luke's grin sharpens. No, not impossible. Eleanor shoots him a warning look. Luke shrugs. What? He should know. Naruto's eyes narrow. Why are you really helping? Luke's gaze flicks forward. I told you, someone wants you alive. Naruto's chest tightens. Someone powerful. Not Kushina, not his mother. A god? A goddess? His mind flashes to Artemis again. Vows, regret, hunters. The forest around them suddenly feels too quiet. Naruto slows. Stop. Luke stops reluctantly. What now? Naruto listens. A faint rustle. A scrape. Then the smell hits him. Wet fur, rot, old blood. Wolves? No, something worse. Shapes move at the edge of the trees. Eyes glow low to the ground. A pack, circling, testing. Luke's grin is gone now. His hand drops to a weapon at his side. Hellhounds, he mutters. Eleanor's face hardens. They found you. Naruto's breath steadies. Mid-roll, if you're hooked right now, stay with it. Because this is the moment Naruto learns what kind of world he's really in. The hellhounds step into the moonless light, bodies massive, ribs visible under mangy skin, mouths dripping black saliva. They don't bark, they don't growl, they just stare like hunger given form. Luke's voice is tight. Run. Naruto's eyes narrow. No. Luke snaps his head toward him. What do you mean no? Naruto raises his bronze blade, the metal catching what little light exists. If we run, they chase. If they chase, they hurt us. If they hurt us, we die. Eleanor's gaze flicks to Naruto, surprised, then something like grim approval. Luke swears under his breath. Fine, fight. The first hellhound lunges. Naruto moves like a blade slipping free. He ducks under snapping jaws and slashes upward with the bronze. The blade cuts clean through monster flesh like it's smoke. The hellhound howls, body dissolving into black ash that scatters on the wind. Naruto's eyes widen for a fraction. Then he adapts. Monsters die differently here. 2 more hellhounds leap at once. Luke intercepts one, sword flashing, driving it back. Eleanor moves on the other side, knife and speed, fighting like someone who has survived too many nights like this. Naruto takes the center. A hellhound charges him head-on, jaws wide. Naruto waits until the last heartbeat, then sidesteps and drives his bronze blade into its neck. It dissolves mid-lunge, ash exploding across Naruto's face like soot. He coughs, blinking, and feels the pack tightening. More eyes in the dark. Too many. Luke swears again, voice strained. This is wrong. Hellhounds don't roam this far out in numbers like this. Eleanor's face tightens. Someone sent them. Naruto's stomach drops. So it's not just hunger, it's strategy. Someone is steering the monsters. Naruto's hand tightens on the hilt. He can end this fast, he thinks. He can call the Nine-Tails chakra, flood his body with power, scare the pack into retreat. But that will light him up like a flare. And if someone is steering the monsters, then someone is watching for that flare. He makes the choice again. He stays small, he stays sharp, he fights clean. The next hellhound leaps, and Naruto uses its momentum. He plants a foot, pivots, and uses the monster's weight to drive it past him, then slashes its spine. It dissolves in midair, ash raining down. But there are still more. Luke's breathing grows harsh. Eleanor's movements slow by a fraction. They're being worn down. Naruto's mind runs angles. He spots a narrow gully ahead, a drop-off lined with rocks. He shouts, voice cutting through the night. Back toward the gully. Luke glances at him like he's about to argue, then sees the logic and moves. Eleanor follows without hesitation. They retreat in controlled steps, slashing and dodging, drawing the pack closer. The hellhounds smell victory. They press in. Naruto reaches the edge of the gully and plants himself. He holds his bronze blade low. The largest hellhound lunges first. Naruto waits. Then he steps aside and hooks his arm under the creature's jaw, using its momentum and his own compact strength to twist. He isn't strong enough to throw it like an adult, but he doesn't need to. He needs it off balance. The hellhound stumbles, claws scrabbling, teetering on the edge. Naruto kicks its shoulder. It falls into the gully with a howl. 2 more hellhounds leap after it, blinded by hunger, and crash down too. Naruto slashes the next one midair. It dissolves, ash scattering into the gully like cursed snow. Luke laughs once, sharp, breathless. Not bad, kid. Naruto's eyes stay cold. Don't call me kid. Luke blinks at the tone, then grins again like he finds it amusing. Okay, not bad, Naruto. The pack finally hesitates. Their numbers are cut. Their prey isn't panicking. Their praise making them pay. The remaining hellhounds back into the dark, eyes glowing, not defeated, just retreating. Naruto exhales slowly, shoulders tense. Eleanor wipes ash off her sleeve, eyes narrowed at the forest. They'll come again. Luke's face is tight. We have to reach the boundary fast. Naruto looks at him sharply. Boundary? Luke nods, then points toward the south. Camp. Once we hit it, most of this stops. Naruto's grip tightens. Most, not all. They move again, harder now, faster. The night stretches long, but Luke has ways. He makes calls with the drachma, murmuring into the air like he's speaking to invisible operators. Sometimes the air shimmers and a distant sound answers, like the world itself is listening. By dawn, the trees change. The air changes too. It smells like salt, like ocean wind. Naruto's chest tightens. A safe zone. Or a cage. They crest a hill, and the world opens. In the distance, he sees it. Cabins scattered around a field. A lake. A training arena. A tall pine crowned by something golden that glints in the morning light. Camp Half-Blood. It looks almost peaceful. Luke exhales like a man who has been holding his breath for days. Home. Eleanor's face stays guarded. We're not inside yet. Naruto watches the space between them and the camp. The grass looks normal. The air looks normal. But his instincts scream that there's a line there. A boundary you don't cross without permission. Luke steps forward confidently. Naruto follows, then stops. A sensation hits him at the edge of the boundary like stepping into warm water. His skin prickles. His blood feels like it's being tasted by something enormous. He feels eyes, not mortal eyes, eyes like storms. For one heartbeat, the world holds its breath. Then the boundary accepts him. The pressure eases, just slightly, like the camp is swallowing him whole. Naruto's jaw tightens. He steps into Camp Half-Blood. And somewhere far above, on a throne that doesn't exist in mortal space, something ancient shifts its attention and smiles like a knife. The boundary accepts him like a mouth closing around prey. Naruto takes one more step, and the world sharpens. The air inside Camp Half-Blood smells different. Cleaner. Salt and pine and smoke from distant fires. But underneath that is something else. Metal, sweat, old magic. It hits him the way a battlefield hits you the first time you step onto it. A place where the ground has learned violence. Luke walks ahead like the path belongs to him. Eleanor hangs back half a step, eyes scanning the cabins and the tree line like she's expecting an ambush from either side. Naruto stays in the middle, small body wrapped in a torn jacket, bronze blade hidden, gaze steady. He feels it immediately. Eyes. Not just one or two curious glances. Dozens. Campers pause in what they're doing. Swords lower. Conversations stutter. A few heads turn too fast. Like instincts are pulling them before their minds catch up. They smell him. Half-Blood scent isn't poetic here. It's real. A current in the air that tells predators and rivals exactly what you are. Naruto keeps walking anyway. A boy with curly hair and a spear stops mid-thrust. He stares at Naruto like he's seeing a ghost. A girl with braided hair and a bow tightens her grip on the string. Two older campers near the arena exchange a look that says, problem. Naruto has been stared at before. Konoha made a sport out of it. He can carry it. But this is different. In Konoha, the eyes hated him because they feared what lived inside him. Here, the eyes weigh him like a weapon someone wants to claim. Luke spreads his arms wide as if greeting a crowd. Miss me? A few campers call back, half laughing, half relieved. Others stay quiet, watching Naruto instead of Luke. Luke notices, of course. Luke always notices. He grins at Naruto. Told you, they'll stare. Let them. Naruto doesn't answer. They move deeper into camp. Cabins line the clearing like a village made from mythology. Some are simple. Some are too ornate, built like shrines. One has bright colors and music drifting out. Another looks like it was carved from a living tree. Another is marble and gold and arrogance. Naruto's mind catalogs everything. Distances, cover, elevation, choke points. His feet adjust without him thinking. He walks like someone expecting arrows. Eleanor's voice is low. Don't take your eyes off your surroundings. Naruto keeps his gaze forward. I'm not. Luke leads them toward a larger building mess hall, judging by the smell of food and the presence of tables. Campers cluster there. The concentration of eyes thickens. A girl steps into their path. She's older than Naruto by several years, dark hair pulled back, posture confident. Her eyes are gray and sharp, the eyes of someone who fights because she enjoys winning. A knife rests at her hip like a casual threat. She looks at Luke first. You're back. Luke smiles like he's never done anything wrong in his life. Clarice. Clarice's gaze slides to Naruto, and the smile disappears. She studies him like she's searching for the punchline. That's the half-blood? Naruto meets her eyes without blinking. Clarice's mouth twists. He's tiny. Luke shrugs. That's the problem. Monsters don't care. Clarice steps closer. Naruto doesn't flinch. He doesn't step back. He lets her close the distance and watches her hands. Clarice tilts her head, sniffing the air like the Cyclops did. He smells wrong. Naruto's jaw tightens. Eleanor's voice cuts in, firm. Back off. Clarice ignores her. Where'd you find him? Luke's grin doesn't change, but his eyes sharpen. Alaska. That gets attention. A few nearby campers lean in like they can't help themselves. Clarice's brows rise. Alaska. That's not normal. Naruto thinks, nothing about this is normal. Clarice reaches out like she's going to poke him, like he's a curiosity. Naruto's hand moves, fast catching her wrist 2 inches from his chest. His grip isn't childlike, it's a clamp. Clarice's eyes widen a fraction. Naruto's voice is calm. Don't touch me. A hush drops over the nearby crowd. Even the distant clang of weapons seems to thin. Clarice's mouth curls into a grin that is half delight, half threat. Oh, you've got teeth. Naruto releases her wrist and steps past her. He doesn't run, he doesn't posture. He just moves like she isn't important enough to slow him down. That hits her harder than an insult. Luke laughs softly, amused. Eleanor's shoulders tense, like she expects violence. Clarice watches Naruto's back, grin fading into something more serious. Be careful, she calls after Luke. That one doesn't look tame. Luke glances back at her, eyes bright. That's why he's interesting. They reach the big house, the main building that radiates authority. Naruto feels something press against his senses again, like the air itself thickens near it. A centaur steps out onto the porch. Naruto has seen monsters. He has fought giants. He has watched beings that should not exist tear through soldiers. Still, for a heartbeat, his brain tries to reject what he's seeing. Human torso, horse body, massive frame, calm eyes that have watched centuries pass like seasons. The mist would have softened this for a mortal. For Naruto, it just makes the impossible feel brutally clear. The centaur's gaze locks onto Naruto. The pressure spikes. Naruto feels weighed, measured, like someone is reading the shape of his soul. Luke, the centaur says. His voice is steady, deep, carrying like a command without needing to shout. Luke raises a hand. Chiron. Chiron's gaze flicks to Eleanor, then back to Naruto. So this is the one. Eleanor steps forward. He's under protection. Chiron's expression doesn't shift. All who cross the boundary are under protection. Naruto watches him. You run this place. Chiron's mouth twitches slightly, like he's surprised by the directness. I oversee it. Naruto's eyes narrow. Who controls it? Chiron studies him a long moment. Then he answers carefully. The gods have interests. The camp exists to keep demigods alive long enough to choose their own fates. Naruto hears the lie hidden inside the truth. He doesn't call it out, yet. Chiron gestures. Come inside. Naruto follows, keeping his body language neutral. He's learned how to walk into rooms where everyone wants something from him. He's learned how to keep his face calm while calculating exits. Inside, the big house smells like old wood and old books and ancient promises. A few adults linger. Camp staff, warriors, people with eyes that have seen too much. They look at Naruto like he's a question. Chiron leads them to a room with a map on the wall and shelves of scrolls. He sits behind a desk like a judge. Name, he says. Naruto's gaze doesn't waver. Naruto. Chiron nods. Age? Naruto hesitates for the smallest fraction. 9. Chiron's eyes narrow slightly as if he hears the gap between the number and the presence behind it. Parentage? Naruto's jaw tightens. I don't know. Luke's grin flickers. Eleanor's posture stiffens. Chiron studies Naruto like he is trying to decide whether to push. It will become clear, he says after a moment. The gods claim their children when they choose. Sometimes it's immediate. Sometimes it takes time. Naruto hears the other truth. Sometimes they don't claim at all, and the unclaimed become targets. Chiron turns to Eleanor. You've done well bringing him here. Eleanor's expression stays hard. I did what I had to. Chiron's gaze shifts to Luke. And you? Luke leans against the wall like the room is his. I did what I had to. Chiron doesn't smile. We will speak later. Luke's grin tightens. Sure. Chiron looks back at Naruto. You will be assigned a temporary place to stay until your parent claims you. You will train. You will learn the rules. You will not leave the boundary without escort. Naruto's voice stays calm. I don't like being told where I can go. Chiron's eyes hold his. And yet you are here. The room goes quiet. Naruto feels Eleanor's gaze on him, warning, don't start a war in your first hour. He exhales slow. Fine. Chiron nods, as if he expected that. You will meet Annabeth. Naruto's brow furrows. Chiron speaks as if the name is enough explanation. She will show you around and make sure you don't pick fights you can't finish. Naruto's mouth twists slightly. I can finish fights. Chiron's eyes soften just a fraction. That is exactly why you need guidance. A girl appears in the doorway like she's been listening the whole time. She's 12 or 13. Blonde hair. Gray eyes that look older than her face. She stands straight, not afraid, not impressed. The kind of kid who has been forced to become an adult early. She looks at Naruto the way a strategist looks at a battlefield. So that's him, she says. Chiron nods. Annabeth Chase, Naruto. He'll be under your care for the next few days. Annabeth's eyes narrow slightly as she studies Naruto's stance, the way his weight sits on his feet, the way his gaze doesn't dart like a child's. He's not 9, she mutters. Naruto meets her eyes. I am. Annabeth's mouth tightens like she doesn't buy it. Sure. Chiron stands. Annabeth, show him the camp. Ensure he understands the rules. And keep him away from the arena until he has basic training. Naruto's gaze flicks to the window. He can see the arena outside. He can hear the clang of bronze. His fingers itch. He says nothing. Annabeth gestures sharply. Come on. Naruto follows her out into the sunlight. Eleanor and Luke stay behind. Naruto doesn't look back, but he feels Eleanor watching him like a parent watching a child walk into danger. Annabeth walks fast, like she expects Naruto to keep up. He does. His legs are shorter, but his pace is controlled. He matches her stride without effort. She glances at him, surprised despite herself. Okay. You're either athletic or you're cheating. Naruto's voice is flat. I'm alive. Annabeth snorts softly. Fair. They pass the mess hall. Campers eat, talk, laugh, and then pause when Naruto walks by. Whispers follow him like dust. Annabeth's eyes narrow at the crowd. Ignore them. Naruto's gaze stays forward. I'm used to it. Annabeth's head turns sharply. Used to what? Naruto doesn't answer, not directly. People staring. Annabeth watches him for a beat, then nods like she understands more than she should. Yeah, she says quietly. Me too. They reach the cabins. Annabeth points as she walks, voice crisp, informative. Ares' cabin. That's Clarice's. Her mouth twists like she's swallowing something bitter. Apollo cabin. Archery, music, medicine. Athena cabin is, well, that one's mine. She nods toward a gray stone building that looks more like a library than a home. Hermes' cabin is over there. Most of the unclaimed stay there too. Naruto's eyes flick to the Hermes cabin. It's crowded. Kids move in and out constantly. It looks like a place where people are forced to share space because they don't have anywhere else. Naruto's chest tightens. Annabeth catches the look. It's not the worst, she says quickly, like she's defending the camp. It's just busy. Naruto's voice stays calm. It's a storage cabin for people the gods won't acknowledge. Annabeth's jaw tightens. It's temporary. Naruto's eyes meet hers. Temporary becomes permanent if you let it. Annabeth's gaze hardens, like he just touched a nerve. Then she turns away. Come on. They pass the archery range. Arrows thunk into targets. A group of girls in silver and gray practice together, moving like a pack. Their faces are focused, disciplined. Hunters. Naruto's skin prickles. One of them turns her head as if she senses him. Her eyes are sharp, silver bright. Not the same silver-eyed girl from his dream, but close enough that his gut tightens. The hunter's gaze sweeps him. For a second, contempt flickers. Then she looks away like he's already decided. Annabeth notices. Hunters of Artemis, she says under her breath. They're intense. Naruto's voice is quiet. They hate me. Annabeth's head snaps toward him. What? Naruto keeps walking. I can feel it. Annabeth studies him. You can't just feel that. Naruto's mouth twists. Maybe you can't. Annabeth's eyes narrow, but she doesn't argue. Instead, she speeds up, dragging him away from the range. They reach the training arena. Annabeth points at it like she's warning him away from a fire. This is where you learn not to die, she says. But Chiron said no arena for you yet. Naruto's gaze locks onto the fighters inside. Bronze swords flash, shields slam. Kids move like they've been training for years because they have. Naruto's hands twitch. He remembers shinobi training. He remembers the academy. He remembers learning pain early. He keeps his voice neutral. Why not? Annabeth's expression tightens. Because people will challenge you, and because you'll do something stupid. Naruto looks at her. I don't do stupid. Annabeth snorts. Every demigod does stupid. It's basically a tradition. Naruto doesn't smile. Annabeth gestures. Let's get you settled. They head toward the Hermes cabin. Naruto's chest tightens more with every step. He can already smell it. Too many bodies, too much noise, the scent of being unclaimed. Annabeth pushes open the cabin door. Inside is chaos. Bunks stacked, trunks shoved under beds, kids talking over each other, some laughing, some arguing. Some watching Naruto like they're deciding if he's a new punching bag or a new ally. Luke is there. He's leaning against a post, talking to a couple of older campers. When he sees Naruto, his grin returns like it never left. "Hey," Luke says, "welcome to the circus." Naruto's eyes narrow. "You're still here." Luke shrugs. "My cabin. I'm kinda hard to kick out." Annabeth's voice is sharp. "Luke, don't mess with him." Luke puts a hand over his heart like she wounded him. "Me? Never." Naruto steps deeper into the cabin. The noise presses against him. It reminds him of an orphanage that never existed in his world, but feels like it should have. A place full of kids trying to be loud enough that nobody notices how afraid they are. A smaller boy with dark skin and a guarded expression watches Naruto from a bunk. A girl with messy hair whispers something to her friend. A lanky kid near the back stares openly, curiosity and fear mixed. Naruto's shoulders square. Annabeth points to an empty bunk near the side. "That's yours for now." Naruto looks at it. It's narrow, simple, temporary. He nods once. "Fine." Luke steps closer, lowering his voice. "So," he says, eyes glittering, "what did you do in Alaska to make Cyclopes chase you like that?" Naruto's gaze stays cold. "Survived." Luke smiles wider. "That's not an answer." Naruto's voice is calm. "It's the only one you need." Luke's grin fades a fraction. "You're weird." Naruto meets his eyes. "So are you." Luke laughs softly, but there's an edge under it now. "Fair." Annabeth steps between them. "He's tired. Leave it." Luke raises his hands. Okay, no pressure." Naruto watches Luke as he backs away. He feels it again, that sense that Luke is smiling for an audience, but the real person underneath is watching for weakness. Naruto has fought men like that. They're dangerous because they don't think they are villains. Annabeth turns to Naruto. "Rules," she says, like she's trying to regain control of the situation. "Don't wander at night. Don't cross the boundary. Don't pick fights with Clarice. Don't steal from the Apollo cabin. Don't go near the woods unless you're with someone older." Naruto's eyes narrow. "The woods are inside the boundary." Annabeth's jaw tightens. "Yeah, and monsters still get in sometimes. Don't be stupid." Naruto exhales. "I said I'm not." Annabeth leans in, voice lower. "You're not the only one who's been through things. Don't walk around like you're untouchable." Naruto's gaze flickers, but he doesn't back down. "I'm not untouchable." Annabeth watches him like she's trying to decide whether to trust him. Then she nods. "Once, small." "Good." She leaves the cabin, and the noise swells back in. Naruto sits on the bunk. The mattress squeaks. He hates how small everything feels. He hates that he's trapped here while the war rages in another world. He hates that he can't even send a message home. He pulls Kushina's letter out briefly, fingers tracing the fold, then tucks it back away. Not here. Not in front of eyes that would use it against him. He lies back and stares at the ceiling. He tries to sleep. He can't. Footsteps approach. Naruto's eyes open instantly. A girl stands near his bunk. Older than Annabeth. Dark hair, warm expression that doesn't quite reach her eyes. She holds out a plate. "Hi," she says. "I'm Selena. You didn't eat. Thought you might need something." Naruto sits up slowly, keeping his face neutral. "Thanks." Selena smiles, and it's gentle enough to make people lower their guard. "Everyone's talking about you," she says lightly. "They're saying you fought Cyclopes." Naruto's voice is flat. "They were in the way." Selena's smile twitches. "That's a very Aries answer." Naruto doesn't respond. Selena studies him a moment longer, then sets the plate on the edge of his bunk. "If you need anything," she says softly, "just ask." She walks away. Naruto watches her go, then looks down at the food. In Konoha, kindness always had a price, even if the person offering didn't realize it. He eats anyway. He needs the strength. Later, the sun lowers, and the camp shifts into evening rhythm. Fires light, people gather, laughter spreads, thin but real. Naruto stands outside the Hermes cabin and watches. For a moment, he feels almost like a normal kid. A kid at a camp. A kid with a bed and food and rules. Then he senses it again. Eyes on him from the shadows. He turns. A group of hunters stands near the archery range. They aren't practicing now. They're watching. Their faces are expressionless, but the hostility is clear. A quiet verdict. Naruto's jaw tightens. He steps toward them. A few campers nearby tense, as if expecting a fight. Naruto stops at a respectful distance. He keeps his hands visible, empty. He speaks calmly. "If you have a problem with me, say it." The hunters don't move at first. Then one steps forward. She's tall, athletic, eyes like cold coins. "You're a stain," she says. Naruto's gaze doesn't flinch. "Why?" The hunter's lip curls. "Because the goddess doesn't want you here." Naruto's stomach tightens. "Artemis." The hunter's eyes sharpen at the name. "Lady Artemis." Naruto's voice stays controlled. "Why does she care?" The hunter smiles, but it's cruel. "You know why, and if you don't, you will." Naruto's fingers curl slightly. He forces them open. He hears Eleanor's voice in his head. Don't pick fights you can't finish. But he also hears another voice, his own, older, harder. If you let people spit on you once, they'll do it forever. He takes a breath. I'm not here to insult your goddess, he says. I'm here to survive. The hunter steps closer. Survive somewhere else. Naruto meets her eyes. Can't, won't, she corrects. Naruto's voice drops a notch. I don't run. The hunter's grin widens. Then you'll break. A new voice cuts in, calm and sharp. That's enough. Annabeth appears at Naruto's side like she sensed the friction from across camp. Her eyes are narrowed, angry. Leave him alone. The hunter's gaze slides to Annabeth with disdain. Athena's pet thinks she can speak for everyone. Annabeth's jaw tightens. He's a camper. The hunter's eyes go colder. He's a problem. Annabeth steps forward. Then take it up with Chiron. The hunter holds Annabeth's gaze, then finally turns away, motioning her group back toward the trees. They leave without another word, but the message lingers like smoke. Naruto watches them go. Annabeth exhales, frustrated. What are you doing? Naruto's voice is quiet. Figuring out who wants me dead? Annabeth's eyes flick to him, then away. This place has politics, she mutters, even when it shouldn't. Naruto looks at her. You said I'd do something stupid. Annabeth sighs. This counts. Naruto's mouth twists. They started it. Annabeth's gaze sharpens. They always do. Don't let them control you. Naruto stares at the darkening sky. I'm not controlled. Annabeth's voice softens, just slightly. Then prove it. They walk back toward the Hermes cabin together. The campfire crackles nearby, the smell of burned offerings rising like a prayer. Naruto watches kids toss bits of food into the flames, murmuring words to gods that may or may not be listening. He wonders if Kushina is listening. He wonders if the goddess behind Kushina is listening. He hates that he doesn't know. Night falls. Camp quiets. The woods loom at the edge of the clearing like a wall of teeth. Naruto lies on his bunk, eyes open, listening to the cabin breathe. He hears whispers. People talking about him. Words like Alaska, Cyclopes, weird, strong, dangerous, unclaimed. He closes his eyes anyway. Sleep takes him like a hand around the throat, and the dream hits. He's standing on a shore under a sky full of pale stars. The water is black, calm, endless. The air smells like salt and moonlight. A figure stands with her back to him, long dark hair. Silver glow around her shoulders like she's wearing starlight. A bow slung across her back. Naruto's pulse tightens. She turns. Artemis. Not a camper, not a rumor. The real goddess looking at him with eyes that could freeze blood. Naruto's body tenses, but he doesn't kneel. He doesn't bow. He just meets her gaze the way he met Madara's. Respect without surrender. Artemis's lips part slightly like she didn't expect that. Then her face hardens. You, she says, voice quiet and lethal. You are the reason my hunters will suffer. Naruto's jaw tightens. I don't even know you. Artemis steps closer, and the air compresses. Naruto feels the weight of divine power like gravity doubling. You will know, she says, and her eyes flash with something that looks like fury and something that looks like fear. Naruto's voice stays controlled. If you have a problem with me, say it. Artemis's expression twists, like the word sting. If I speak the vow aloud, it tightens. Naruto's stomach drops. A vow, a pact, strings. He hears Kushina's voice from that other place. 9 years. Win him or lose them. Naruto's fists clench. I'm not your pawn. Artemis's eyes go colder. You're already on the board. Naruto steps forward despite the pressure, refusing to yield ground even in a dream. Then tell me the rules. Artemis's mouth tightens. The rule is this. You will not touch my hunters. You will not speak honeyed lies to pull them from their vows. You will not bring Aphrodite's rot into my house. Naruto's eyes narrow. I don't care about your house. Artemis's gaze flashes. The shoreline trembles. The water ripples like something massive moves beneath it. You will, she whispers, and the words feel like a curse. Naruto feels anger flare hot and sharp. I didn't come here for this. I was forced here. Artemis studies him. For a brief instant, something softer flickers. Regret, pain, then it's gone. Good, she says. Then you understand what it is to be trapped. Naruto's throat tightens. You're trapped. Artemis doesn't answer. She lifts a hand, and a silver arrow appears between her fingers like moonlight condensed into a blade. She doesn't draw her bow. She doesn't aim. She just holds it, letting him see it. A warning. Naruto's eyes narrow. Are you threatening me? Artemis's voice is a whisper. I am reminding you that gods do not lose. Naruto's mouth twists. Neither do I. For the first time, Artemis looks truly surprised. Then her face hardens into a mask of cold perfection. We will speak again, she says. Naruto's voice is steady. Then speak like an adult next time. The shoreline fractures. The dream shatters like glass. Naruto jerks awake on his bunk, heart hammering. The Hermes cabin is dark. Most campers are asleep. But Naruto can still feel it, like the dream left a residue in his blood. The vow. The strings. He sits up slowly, breathing controlled. Across the cabin, Luke is awake too. Naruto can't tell how long Luke has been watching him. But Luke's eyes are open, reflecting faint moonlight like a predator pretending to be human. Luke's voice is quiet. Bad dream? Naruto doesn't answer. Luke shifts, sitting up. You're not like the others, he says softly. The gods notice you fast. Naruto's jaw tightens. They already did. Luke's grin flickers. Yeah, I can see it in your face. You met one. Naruto's eyes narrow. How would you know? Luke's smile widens a fraction, because when a god puts their hands on your life, you look different afterward. Naruto studies him, and the pieces click together in a way he doesn't like. Luke isn't just a helpful guide. Luke is involved. Luke leans forward slightly, voice dropping into something intimate and dangerous. If you want to survive here, he murmurs, you need allies. Real ones. Not kids who'll ditch you the second your parent doesn't impress them. Naruto's gaze stays cold. And you're offering. Luke spreads his hands. I'm offering the truth. Camp looks safe, but it's full of knives. Some of them smile, some of them don't. Naruto hears the subtext. I'm one of the knives. Choose me and I won't cut you. He keeps his voice calm. Why do you care? Luke's eyes flicker, and for the first time the grin doesn't fully cover what's underneath. Something tired, something angry, something old. Because I hate watching kids get chewed up by gods who don't care, Luke says quietly. And because you're different. Naruto's throat tightens. Different has never been a gift. Luke's voice stays low. I can help you. But you have to trust me. Naruto's eyes narrow. I don't trust anyone. Luke chuckles softly. Then you're already halfway dead. Naruto's hand tightens on the blanket. He wants to tell Luke to back off. He wants to tell him he survived worse than this. But the truth is, he's in a new world with new rules, and Artemis just reminded him he's on a board he didn't agree to play on. He looks at Luke. What do you want from me? Luke's grin returns, but it's sharper now. Nothing, he says. Not yet, not yet. Naruto's stomach drops, because that's exactly the kind of answer that always comes before betrayal. He lies back down, forcing his breathing steady. Luke settles too, but Naruto can still feel the weight of his gaze in the dark. Outside, the woods whisper. Somewhere beyond the boundary, monsters prowl. And somewhere far above, a goddess who dreams and a goddess who hunts both keep their eyes on the same small boy, each for reasons that could shatter him in completely different ways. Naruto stares into the dark and realizes the worst part. Back home, he could punch his way through fate. Here, fate wears faces. And one of those faces is already smiling at him from across the cabin, waiting for the exact moment to strike. Morning comes like nothing happened. That's what irritates Naruto most about camps, villages, armies, places where people learn to normalize danger. The sun rises, the world looks clean, kids laugh and complain about breakfast. And underneath it, knives are still in the walls. Naruto wakes before everyone else. He stays still for a count of 10, listening. The Hermes cabin is full of soft breathing and shifting bodies. Luke is asleep, maybe. Naruto doesn't assume. He slips out quietly, bronze blade tucked beneath his clothes, and walks toward the water. The lake sits calm, reflecting the pale sky. Mist curls above it in thin ribbons. For a second, the word feels like a joke. The mist. The veil that edits monsters into jokes for mortals. This camp has its own mist too, one that tries to make danger look like routine. Naruto kneels at the shore and stares at his reflection. Small face, boy's jawline, eyes too steady, scars that shouldn't exist on a 9-year-old. He presses 2 fingers to his wrist, pulse strong, body young, mind old, and somewhere inside, something else. Divine blood, Kushina said, and the way Artemis looked at him in that dream, like she was seeing more than a demigod, like she was seeing a key. He hates being a key. Footsteps crunch behind him. Naruto doesn't turn. He already smelled her fresh parchment, metal, and that sharp clarity Annabeth carries like a weapon. You're up early, Annabeth says, stopping a few feet away. Naruto's voice stays neutral. Habit. Annabeth watches him. You don't sleep much. Naruto shrugs slightly. Annabeth sits on a rock near the shore, folding her arms. Luke told me you had a rough night. Naruto's eyes narrow. Luke tells you things. Annabeth's mouth tightens. Luke talks. That's what he does. Naruto finally turns his head enough to look at her. And you listen. Annabeth meets his gaze without flinching, because sometimes what he says matters. Naruto studies her expression. He can't read everything, but he can read enough. She trusts Luke more than she should, and she knows she trusts him more than she should. Naruto looks back at the water. The hunters hate me. Annabeth exhales, frustrated. Yeah, they do. They hate most boys. Naruto's voice stays calm. This feels different. Annabeth doesn't answer immediately. She stares at the lake, jaw tight. Artemis is not in a good mood lately, she says finally. Naruto's stomach tightens. Because of me. Annabeth's head turns sharply. You don't know that. Naruto's gaze stays on the water. I met her. Annabeth freezes. The air between them tightens like a rope pulled taut. You met her, Annabeth repeats slowly, and it isn't disbelief. It's alarm. Naruto nods once. Dream. Annabeth's shoulders loosen by a fraction. Gods do that sometimes, she says carefully. They show up in dreams, they test you, or threaten you, or just remind you they exist. Naruto's voice is quiet. She didn't test me. Annabeth watches him closely. What did she say? Naruto hesitates. Saying it out loud feels like tightening the vow Artemis mentioned, but keeping it locked inside feels worse. She said, I'm the reason her hunters will suffer, Naruto says. Annabeth's face shifts, surprise, then calculation, then something like dread. Bats? Specific. Naruto's jaw tightens. She talked about a vow. Annabeth goes still. Her eyes flick to the archery range in the distance, then back to Naruto. Okay, she says, voice tight. That's not normal. Naruto's hands curl in his lap, then relax. He forces his breathing steady. So what now? Annabeth inhales and stands. Now you do what Chiron said. You learn the rules. You don't poke gods. And you stay alive. Naruto's mouth twists. Staying alive isn't the hard part. Annabeth's gaze sharpens. It is here. She gestures. Come on, breakfast, then training. Naruto rises with her and they walk back through camp as it wakes. The mess hall is loud, full of plates and chatter and clattering cups. The smell of pancakes hits Naruto like a memory from a life he never lived. He takes a plate, sits where Annabeth gestures, and eats while listening. Conversations drift across the room. Cyclopes, like 3 of them. Alaska? Alaska? Seriously? How did? Hunters are pissed. Unclaimed again, I bet. Luke says he's dangerous. Naruto doesn't look up. He keeps eating. He keeps his face calm. He's learned how to survive in rooms where the air is full of gossip like poison. Across the hall, the hunters sit together, separate from everyone else like a different species. Their eyes flick toward Naruto with open contempt. One of them whispers something, and the others snicker quietly. It isn't friendly. Naruto's jaw tightens, but he keeps eating. Annabeth notices the tension and leans in. Ignore them, she murmurs. Naruto's voice stays low. I am. Annabeth watches him. Good, because the fastest way to die here is to make enemies before you have friends. Naruto's mouth twists. I didn't make them. They came with the package. Annabeth almost smiles, then stops herself. Welcome to being a demigod. After breakfast, Annabeth drags him toward the training arena like it's her job to keep him busy enough that he doesn't start a war. Chiron stands near the arena entrance, watching campers spar. His eyes flick to Naruto as they approach. You're up, Chiron says calmly. Naruto's brow furrows. Up for what? Chiron gestures toward the arena. Assessment. Naruto's gaze sharpens. You said no arena. Chiron's expression doesn't change. I said no arena until you had basic training. This is basic training. Annabeth mutters under her breath. Oh, great! Chiron calls a camper forward. A boy about 15, lean and confident, sword in hand. He steps into the arena like he owns it. His eyes scan Naruto and land on his small body with amusement. This is the new kid, the boy says. Chiron nods. Naruto, this is Malcolm. Malcolm swings his sword in a smooth arc, showing off. No offense, he says, grinning, but I don't want to be the guy who beats up a 9-year-old. Naruto's face stays calm, then don't. A few campers laugh. Malcolm's grin tightens. Okay, cute. Chiron speaks evenly. Rules, practice weapons only, no lethal force. Stop when I call it. Naruto glances at the rack of weapons at the side. Wooden swords, blunted spears, shields, training gear. He reaches for a wooden sword. It's light. Too light. It doesn't feel like anything, but it will do. He steps into the arena. Malcolm rolls his shoulders. I'll go easy, he says. Naruto raises his wooden sword and watches Malcolm's feet. He doesn't watch the blade. He watches weight distribution. He watches breath. He watches intent. Malcolm charges with a flashy slash meant to impress the crowd. Naruto sidesteps, pivots, and taps. Malcolm's wrist, just a touch. Malcolm's sword jolts in his grip. Surprise flickers. He swings again, faster, annoyed now. Naruto ducks under it and taps Malcolm's forearm. Another jolt. Another off-balance stumble. The campers watching quiet down. The laughter thins. Malcolm's face tightens. He stops showing off and starts trying to win. He lunges hard, blade driving toward Naruto's chest. Naruto pivots, slips inside the strike, and uses Malcolm's momentum. He hooks Malcolm's elbow, twists, and sends him off balance. Malcolm hits the sand with a grunt, sword skittering away. The arena goes silent. Naruto stands over him, wooden sword held low, breathing steady. He doesn't look triumphant. He looks bored. Chiron's voice cuts in calmly. Enough. Malcolm scrambles up, red-faced. That was a fluke, he snaps. Naruto's gaze stays cold. No, that was you thinking size matters. A murmur ripples through the crowd. Annabeth's mouth is slightly open like she can't decide whether to be impressed or furious. Chiron watches Naruto with a new kind of focus. Again, he says. Malcolm's eyes flash. He picks up his sword, grips it tighter, and comes in with real intent now. Measured strikes, tighter form. Naruto moves like water. He parries, he sidesteps, he taps nerves, he uses angles. He never overcommits. He's not trying to hurt Malcolm. He's trying to prove a point. Within seconds, Malcolm is breathing hard, sweating, frustrated. Naruto looks the same as when he started. Malcolm throws a desperate overhead strike. Naruto catches it on his blade, steps in close, and lightly bumps Malcolm's chin with the wooden sword. A clean touch. A kill in a real fight. Malcolm freezes. Chiron raises a hand. Stop. The arena erupts into noise. People start talking all at once. Some laugh in disbelief. Some stare like they just watched something dangerous. Clarice appears at the edge of the crowd, eyes bright with interest, grin sharp. Finally, she mutters loud enough to be heard. Something fun. Naruto steps back from Malcolm and lowers his sword. He doesn't bow. He doesn't show respect. He simply ends it. Malcolm glares at him. Who trained you? Naruto's voice is calm. Life. Malcolm spits into the sand and storms out of the arena, humiliated. Chiron looks at Naruto. You have experience. Naruto meets his gaze. Yes. Chiron's eyes narrow. With what? Naruto holds his stare, fighting. Chiron's mouth tightens slightly, but he doesn't push. Instead, he nods once. Annabeth, he says, take him to the armory. Choose appropriate gear. Annabeth's eyes widen. Appropriate? Chiron's gaze stays steady. Something he can handle. Annabeth exhales and gestures Naruto over. Come on, she says, and there's an edge in her voice now. You're going to get yourself killed. Naruto follows her out, ignoring the stares burning into his back like sunlight. The armory smells like metal and oil and old blood. Weapons line the walls. Bronze swords, spears, daggers, shields. Some look ancient, worn by hands that died long ago. Annabeth grabs a short sword off the rack and hands it to Naruto. Try that. Naruto grips it. Better than wood. Balanced differently than steel. The bronze hums faintly, like it's alive in his hands. Annabeth watches his grip. You've held swords before. Naruto doesn't answer. Annabeth steps closer. Listen, she says quietly. I don't care if you're secretly a ninja or a veteran or whatever. But if you keep showing off like that, people will come at you harder. Clarice will come at you. The hunters will come at you. Luke? Naruto's eyes narrow. Luke will come at me? Annabeth stops mid-sentence, expression tightening. I didn't mean. Naruto's voice stays calm. You said it like a warning. Annabeth exhales, frustrated. Because Luke is complicated. Naruto nods slightly. So is everyone here. Annabeth's jaw tightens. Yeah, which is why you need to stop acting like you're above this place. Naruto's gaze stays steady. I'm not above it. I'm trapped in it. Annabeth flinches, like that word hit her too. Before she can respond, a horn sounds across camp, long and sharp. Chiron's voice carries, amplified, commanding. All campers to the central fire, now. The atmosphere changes instantly. Campers stop what they're doing. Conversation dies. Weapons lower. People move with urgency. Annabeth's eyes sharpen. That's not normal. Naruto's stomach tightens. What is it? Annabeth grips Naruto's shoulder and pulls him out of the armory. It's a summons, she says. It means something big happened. They run toward the central fire. Campers gather in a widening circle, eyes on Chiron, who stands at the front with the scroll in hand. Luke is there too, near the Hermes cabin group, watching with a face that looks too calm. The hunters stand on the opposite side, silent, rigid. Their eyes are narrowed, focused. Clarice stands with arms crossed, grinning like she wants trouble. Chiron raises the scroll. By decree of Olympus, he says, voice ringing out, a quest will be issued. A murmur ripples through the crowd. Naruto's chest tightens. Quests. Missions. Same thing in different clothes. Only here, missions don't come from a Hokage. They come from gods. Chiron continues. The diadem of Hera has been taken. The camp goes dead quiet. Even Naruto can feel the weight of that name. Hera. Queen of the gods. The kind of power that makes wars happen because someone blinked wrong. Chiron's gaze sweeps the crowd. Its absence destabilizes Olympus. Accusations are already spreading. If the diadem is not recovered, the gods may turn on each other. Annabeth whispers through clenched teeth, "This is bad." Naruto's eyes narrow. Why would someone steal it? Annabeth's voice is tight. To start a war. Chiron unrolls the scroll further. The oracle has spoken. The quest will be undertaken by Percy Jackson. A ripple of reaction moves through the camp. Some relief, some excitement, some fear. Naruto's brow furrows. Who is Percy Jackson? Annabeth's eyes flick sharply. A new kid, she mutters. Sea parent. Strong. Complicated. Chiron continues, and, Naruto. The silence that follows is heavier than any shout. Naruto's stomach drops. Every eye turns to him. Clarice's grin widens like she just got handed a toy. Annabeth's face goes pale. "No," she whispers, half to herself. The hunters stiffen. A few of them exchange looks that are almost angry enough to burn. Luke's eyes flicker, and for the first time Naruto sees it clearly. Satisfaction, quick and sharp, buried under a mask. Naruto's jaw tightens. Chiron speaks as if reading from law. The quest will be supported by one additional companion chosen by the leader. Naruto stands still, feeling the camp's gaze press down on him like a physical weight. He hears Kushina's voice in his head, "You will not be alone." Not truly, he hates it. Chiron's gaze settles on Naruto. "You are required to accept." Naruto's voice is calm but edged. Required. Chiron's expression doesn't change. Refusal would endanger the camp and invite divine punishment. Naruto's eyes go cold, so it's not a choice. Chiron looks at him for a long moment. Not this time. Naruto exhales slowly. "Fine." A new voice speaks, cutting through the tension. A boy steps forward from the crowd. About 13, dark hair, sea-green eyes. He looks both confident and uneasy, like he's used to trouble finding him even when he doesn't go looking. Percy Jackson. He glances at Naruto with open curiosity, then looks at Chiron. "I didn't pick him," Percy says bluntly. Chiron's gaze stays calm. "Olympus did." Percy's jaw tightens. "Great." Clarice laughs loudly. "Good luck, seaweed brain," she calls. "Try not to die." Percy shoots her a look and ignores it. Annabeth's eyes are fixed on Percy now, but she keeps glancing at Naruto too, like she can't decide which disaster is worse. Chiron raises the scroll again. "The oracle has spoken further," he says. "The path will lead to the underworld." A shiver runs through the camp. Naruto's stomach tightens. Underworld. Death. The place monsters come from. The kind of thing even a shinobi doesn't treat casually. Chiron continues. "The diadem's trail is cold, but certain signs have been found. Someone is planting false evidence. Someone wants the gods to accuse the wrong target." Annabeth murmurs, "That's exactly what I was afraid of." Naruto's eyes narrow. "Then we find who's planting it." Annabeth looks at him sharply. "That's not how this works. You follow the prophecy." Naruto's gaze stays steady. "I follow results." Chiron's voice cuts in. "You depart at sundown." The meeting disperses in a wave of uneasy chatter. Campers swarm Percy with questions, advice, and fear. Others stare at Naruto like he's a bomb with a timer. Annabeth grabs Naruto's arm and drags him away before the crowd can surround him. "What is wrong with you?" she hisses as they walk. "You just said fine like you're going on a field trip." Naruto's voice stays calm. "It's a mission." Annabeth's eyes flash. "It's a quest. The gods can kill you for failing. Or worse." Naruto's gaze doesn't waver. "Then we don't fail." Annabeth stares at him like she wants to shake him. Then she stops and exhales hard. "You're unbelievable." Naruto watches her. "Are you coming?" Annabeth flinches. "I'm not on the list." Naruto tilts his head. "But you know the rules. The world. The monsters." "Percy." Annabeth's mouth tightens. "I can't. Not unless Percy picks me." Naruto's eyes narrow slightly. "Then make him." Annabeth blinks. "That's not—" Naruto cuts her off, voice low. "In my world, if you need someone for a mission, you don't wait for fate to hand them to you. You take them." Annabeth stares at him, then shakes her head sharply. "You're going to get everyone killed." Naruto's gaze stays steady. "Or we're going to live." Annabeth turns away, angry, and strides off toward Percy. Naruto watches her go. Then Luke appears at his side like he's been there the whole time. "Big day," Luke says lightly. Naruto's eyes narrow. "You look happy." Luke's grin widens. "I'm happy you're not stuck in the Hermes cabin anymore." Naruto's voice is calm. "Don't lie to me." Luke's grin flickers, then stabilizes. "Fine. I'm happy because quests change things. They open doors." Naruto's gaze goes cold. "What door are you opening?" Luke laughs softly. "Relax. You'll see." Naruto's fingers twitch. He wants to grab Luke by the collar and shake truth out of him. But that's not how you survive here. You survive by watching, by waiting, by letting people reveal themselves. Naruto leans slightly closer. "I met Artemis," he says. Luke's eyes flash, interest sharp as a blade. "Oh?" Naruto watches his reaction. "She hates me." Luke smiles, but it's not friendly. Yeah, he murmurs. That tracks. Naruto's stomach tightens. You know why? Luke's gaze holds his. I know a lot of things. Naruto's voice drops. Then tell me. Luke's grin fades into something colder. Not here, not now. You want to know the truth? Survive your quest first. Naruto's eyes narrow. And if I don't? Luke shrugs. Then it won't matter, will it? He walks away, leaving the words hanging like a knife embedded in the air. Naruto exhales slowly. By sundown, the quest team gathers near the boundary. Percy stands with a backpack, looking like he's trying to pretend he isn't nervous. A sword hangs at his side, celestial bronze, worn like he's had to use it enough to stop treating it like a toy. Annabeth stands next to him, arms crossed, expression fierce. Naruto notices immediately. Percy chose her. Good. Chiron stands nearby with supplies, drachma, ambrosia, nectar, maps. His expression is calm, but the tension in the air is real. Eleanor is there too. Naruto didn't expect that. She stands near the trees, coat pulled tight, eyes shadowed. She looks like someone watching a child walk into a war and knowing she can't stop it. Naruto steps toward her. You're here. Eleanor nods once. I wanted to see you off. Naruto's voice is quiet. Why? Eleanor's mouth tightens. Because I don't know if you'll come back. Naruto holds her gaze. I come back. Eleanor's eyes soften for a fraction. That confidence will either save you or kill you. Naruto's jaw tightens. It saved me before. Eleanor reaches into her coat and pulls out a small pouch. She presses it into Naruto's hand. More drachma, she says. And a charm. Naruto looks down. A small token, simple, carved, worn smooth by years of handling. It feels warm in his palm. What is it? He asks. Eleanor hesitates. A ward, she says finally. Not perfect, but it might blur your scent a little. Naruto's chest tightens. You've been hiding me. Eleanor's eyes sharpen. I've been keeping you alive. Naruto nods slightly. He doesn't argue. Eleanor's gaze flicks toward the hunters in the distance, watching the quest group like wolves watching prey. Be careful, she murmurs. Not just of monsters. Naruto's voice is calm. I know. Eleanor's jaw tightens. No, she says, and there's a note in her voice that makes Naruto look up. You don't? Not yet. Naruto studies her. Tell me. Eleanor hesitates. Then she speaks, quiet and fierce. When gods are involved, the battlefield is never what it looks like. A friend can be a weapon, a prophecy can be a trap. And if Hera's diadem is missing, someone is moving pieces. Naruto's eyes narrow. Who? Eleanor shakes her head. I don't know, but I know this. Hera doesn't lose things by accident. Naruto absorbs that. Percy calls out, impatient. Are we going or what? Annabeth shoots Eleanor a guarded look, then looks back at Naruto. We leave now, she says. Naruto turns back to Eleanor. Thank you, he says, and it's awkward in his mouth because gratitude always was. Eleanor's expression tightens like she might say something softer, then decides against it. Don't make me regret it, she says. Naruto nods once and steps back to the group. Chiron approaches them, voice calm. Remember, the mist hides what mortals cannot handle. Do not reveal yourselves in public, do not draw attention, and above all, do not provoke the gods. Naruto's mouth twists slightly. Annabeth catches it. He's allergic to being told what to do, she mutters to Percy. Percy glances at Naruto. Yeah, he says, deadpan. I can tell. Naruto's gaze shifts to Percy. You're the leader. Percy's eyes widen slightly, like he wasn't expecting Naruto to just accept that. Yeah, Naruto nods. Then decide fast. Indecision kills. Percy blinks. Okay, thanks, Sunsu. Naruto's face stays calm. Who? Annabeth sighs. Later. They cross the boundary and step onto the road. The world outside camp feels heavier immediately. The air presses. The mist thickens, trying to rewrite the edges of what they are into something more acceptable. They travel by bus first, because demigods are forced into normality like a disguise. Naruto sits by the window, watching reflections. He watches people. He watches hands and eyes. Annabeth sits across from him, posture tight, scanning too. Percy sits near the front, trying to look like a normal kid going somewhere normal while his fingers keep flexing like they want his sword. Naruto watches Percy and sees it. Percy is brave, but he doesn't like being the one responsible. He carries leadership like a weight he didn't ask for. Naruto understands that kind of weight. The bus stops at a station. People get off and on. The demigods stay seated, heads down, trying not to smell like targets. A man in a suit steps onto the bus. Naruto's instincts flare instantly. Too calm, too smooth, eyes too empty. A scent like old paper and cold stone. Not human. Annabeth stiffens. Percy's hand shifts closer to his bag. The man walks down the aisle slowly, smiling politely at passengers like he's part of the world. His gaze lands on Naruto. Naruto feels it like a hook catching his ribs. The man's smile widens slightly. "Excuse me," he says, voice pleasant. "Is this seat taken?" Naruto doesn't move. He watches the man's hands. Annabeth speaks quickly, forcing a smile. "Yeah," she says, "it's taken." The man tilts his head, still smiling. "Oh, I'm sure we can make room." Naruto's pulse stays steady. He smells it now, monster beneath a human mask. The mist, trying to help, but not fully. His skin prickles like it did before the Cyclopes. Percy's voice cuts in from the front. "Hey," Percy says loudly. "Driver, this guy doesn't have a ticket." The driver glances back. The man's smile flickers, annoyed for a fraction. Mortal eyes slide off him like water. "He looks fine to me," the driver mutters, already losing interest. Annabeth's jaw tightens. The man steps closer. His eyes lock on Naruto. "You have something," he says quietly, no longer bothering to keep it purely polite. Naruto's voice is calm. "Move." The man's smile sharpens. "Or what?" Naruto's fingers flex once. He doesn't reach for his blade. "Not here. Not on a bus full of mortals." Annabeth leans in, voice low. "Don't," she warns. Naruto doesn't look at her. He looks at the man. "You're in public," Naruto says quietly. "You won't like what happens if you push." The man's eyes narrow. "You think that matters to me?" Naruto's gaze goes cold. It should. For one heartbeat, the man hesitates. He can feel something on Naruto too, not just demigod scent, something older, more dangerous. Something that makes even monsters reconsider. The man's smile fades into a thin line. "Soon," he murmurs. "Not here, but soon." He turns and steps off the bus at the next stop like he never existed. The air in the bus feels lighter after he leaps. Percy exhales hard. "Was that?" Annabeth's voice is tight. "A monster. In a suit. Great." Naruto watches the window, jaw tight. "Someone is tracking us." Annabeth's eyes narrow. "Monsters track demigods. That's normal." Naruto's voice stays calm. "That wasn't hunger. That was intent. He asked if I had something." Annabeth's face shifts, thinking. "The diadem." Naruto shakes his head slightly. "No." He looked at me. Percy frowns. "Maybe you smell weird." Naruto's gaze shifts to Percy, cold and blunt. "I know." Percy pauses, then nods slowly like he can't argue. They switch transport train, then another bus. Each time, Naruto watches for patterns. Each time, the feeling of being watched grows. By nightfall, they stop in a city. Too many people, too many corners, too many places for monsters to hide behind the mist. Annabeth leads them to a motel room paid for with drachma and mortal cash. The room smells like bleach and old carpet. The windows feel like weak points. Naruto checks the locks without thinking. Percy watches him. "You do that a lot." Naruto's voice is flat. Staying alive requires paranoia. Annabeth drops her bag and sits on the bed, rubbing her temples. "Okay," she says, voice tight. "We need a plan." Naruto looks at Percy. "You're the leader." Percy sighs. "Yeah, okay. Plan. We find where the diadem is. We go to the underworld. We don't die." Naruto's mouth twists. "That's not a plan. That's a wish." Percy glares. "Then you do it." Naruto meets his eyes. "Fine." Annabeth watches them, then exhales. "We have to follow the signs," she says. "Hera's diadem isn't just a piece of jewelry. It's a symbol. It has divine weight. Whoever stole it is either insane or backed by something powerful." Naruto nods slightly. "We find who benefits." Percy frowns. "Who benefits from starting a war between gods?" Annabeth's eyes go darker. "A lot of things." Naruto's gaze shifts to the window. "Or someone who wants chaos." Annabeth's jaw tightens. "Or someone planting evidence to frame a god." Percy's voice is quiet, like Hades. Annabeth nods. "That's the usual suspect. Hera hates him. Olympus hates him. If the diadem ends up near the underworld, everyone will blame him." Naruto's eyes narrow. "So we're walking into a trap." Annabeth looks at him. "Probably." Percy exhales. "Great." Naruto sits on the floor near the door, back against it like a guard. He closes his eyes, but he doesn't sleep. He listens. Outside, the city hums. Cars, voices, sirens. A normal world pretending it doesn't share space with monsters. Naruto's mind drifts back to his own war, to Madara, to the way a single plan could swallow nations, and he realizes something that makes his stomach turn. This world's war isn't fought with armies first. It's fought with blame, with symbols, with gods turning on each other because someone pulled the right string. Mid-roll, if you've made it this far, don't look away because the first real, divine trap hits right now. A soft scrape comes from the window. Naruto's eyes snap open. Annabeth sits up instantly. Percy's hand goes to his sword. Another scrape, like claws on glass. Naruto moves fast. He signals silence with two fingers. Annabeth nods, pale. Percy swallows. The scraping stops. Then the window shatters inward. A shape lunges into the room, too fast, too low, too wrong. It hits the carpet like a spider made of shadow, limbs long and sharp. A hellhound, bigger than the ones before. Its eyes glow like coals. Black saliva drips onto the carpet, smoking slightly. Percy yanks his sword out. Annabeth grabs a dagger. Naruto is already moving. He draws his bronze short sword in one smooth motion and steps between the hellhound and the beds. The hellhound snarls, lips peeling back. Then it speaks. Not in words exactly, but in a voice that slides into the mind like oil. "Give it to me." Naruto's skin prickles. "It's not here," he says quietly, not sure if he's answering the creature or whatever is behind it. The hellhound lunges. Naruto meets it head on. He pivots, slashes downward, blade biting into shadow flesh. The hellhound howls. Ash sprays, but it doesn't dissolve. It's tougher, anchored. Percy darts in and slashes its side. Annabeth stabs at its leg, fast, precise. The hellhound whips around, snapping at Annabeth. Naruto's body moves before thought. He steps in, takes the bite on his blade, and shoves, using leverage and weight. The hellhound stumbles back, snarling. It tries again, and Naruto feels it, something pushing it, guiding it. This isn't random, this is a test. Annabeth's voice is sharp. It's stalling, it wants us to reveal something. Naruto's eyes narrow, then we end it now. He takes a breath and lets chakra flicker through his arm. Just a thread, controlled, not enough to flare like a beacon. His strike becomes heavier, sharper. He slashes across the hellhound's throat. The bronze bites deep, and the chakra thread helps the cut finish. The hellhound's body shudders. Then it dissolves into ash, exploding outward like a bomb of black dust. The ash swirls in the room, and then the real trap triggers. The ash doesn't just fall, it rises, spinning, forming a symbol in the air, an image that hangs like a curse, a crown, a diadem, glowing faintly in black ash. Percy stares. What the? Annabeth's face goes pale. No. Naruto's stomach drops. It's evidence. Planted evidence. The ash crown lingers long enough to be seen by anyone who walks in. Any mortal with the mist would see something else, but any demigod, any satyr, any godly messenger will see exactly what it is meant to imply. That the diadem is connected to them. That it was here. That they touched it. That they're involved. Naruto's jaw tightens. Someone is framing us. Annabeth's voice is tight. Or framing Hades through us. Percy's eyes widen. Can they do that? Annabeth swallows. Yes. Naruto steps closer to the swirling ash crown, eyes narrowed. Then we wipe it. He reaches out with his sword and sweeps through it. The ash crown shatters and dissipates, but Naruto can feel it like the mark already happened, like the message already sent. Annabeth grabs Percy's arm. We have to move, she says. Now, before another monster shows up, before someone. A knock comes at the door. 3 sharp taps. Naruto freezes. Annabeth's breath catches. Percy raises his sword. The knock comes again. Then a voice, calm and polite. Housekeeping. Naruto's eyes go cold. He moves to the door silently, sword held low. He presses his ear to it, no breathing, no heartbeat. Annabeth whispers, monster. Naruto nods. Percy grips his sword tighter, knuckles white. Naruto unlocks the door and yanks it open in one motion, stepping aside as he swings. A man stands there in a housekeeping uniform, cart beside him. His face is blank. His eyes are too pale. He smiles slowly. Found you. Naruto slashes. The bronze blade cuts through the man's chest like air because he's not really human. The uniform falls away as the mist peels back. The thing underneath is tall, skeletal, wrapped in darkness like a cloak. Its mouth opens too wide. A wraith. It hisses and glides forward, ignoring the slash as if its body isn't fully here. Annabeth swears. It's not physical. Percy swings anyway. The blade passes through with little effect. Naruto's mind moves fast. If bronze doesn't bite, they need a different rule. Light, Naruto says sharply. Fire. Annabeth's eyes flick to the lamp. No time. Naruto grabs the motel blanket, wraps it around his sword hand, and shoves it toward the wraith like a shield, forcing distance. The wraith recoils slightly, as if even that resistance irritates it. Percy grabs the lamp and smashes it. Glass breaks. Light bulb sparks. Naruto yanks the curtain down and tosses it onto the broken lamp. Fabric catches. Flame flares. The wraith hisses, pulling back. Naruto steps forward, sword held low, and drives it into the flame, then swings through the wraith's body with the blade heated and lit. The wraith shrieks as if the light is a blade. It recoils, twisting. Annabeth shoves the motel door wider. Out. They run. Down the hallway. Past startled mortals who see 3 kids sprinting and think it's a prank or a fight. The mist smooths it into something harmless. Naruto hears a scream behind them. The Wraith's voice, angry, hunting. They burst outside into the cold night air. The city lights blur. Traffic roars. Annabeth pulls Percy and Naruto into an alley, eyes scanning. "We have to get underground," she says. "We need to reach the entrance." Percy's face is tight. "The underworld entrance is here?" Annabeth nods. "There are multiple. The closest one should be—" A roar shakes the alley. Naruto turns. A massive shadow drops from above. Another hellhound, larger than the last, landing like a meteor. Its paws crack the pavement. Its eyes glow hotter. Its mouth drips black. Percy swears. "Are you kidding me?" Naruto's jaw tightens. They're escalating. Annabeth's eyes narrow. "They're forcing us down." The hellhound lunges. Naruto moves to intercept, but Percy steps in first, sword flashing with a surge of water-scented power. His blade slices the hellhound's snout. It howls. Annabeth darts in and stabs its leg. Naruto slashes across its shoulder. The bronze bites, ash spraying, but this hellhound doesn't dissolve either. It's anchored like the other was, sent with purpose. The wraith glides into view at the alley mouth, darkness pooling around it like smoke. Naruto's stomach tightens. Two threats, one physical, one not. Percy breathes hard. "We can't win this here." Naruto's voice is sharp. "Then, we don't fight to win, we fight to move." He pivots and slashes at the hellhound's foreleg, not trying to kill it, just to slow it. Percy drives into its chest with a shield bash. Annabeth points down the alley and shouts, "There!" Naruto follows her gaze. A metal grate set into the alley floor. A service entrance. A sewer access. An opening. Annabeth yanks it open with both hands. Percy helps. The grate screeches. The hellhound charges again. Naruto steps in, takes the hit on his shoulder, pain flashing. He grits his teeth, refuses to go down, and shoves back with everything he has. Annabeth drops into the opening first. Percy follows, then turns and grabs Naruto's arm. Naruto glances back one last time. The wraith hovers at the alley mouth, watching like it doesn't need to chase fast, like it knows where they're going. Naruto's jaw tightens. He drops into the darkness. They fall into a sewer tunnel, landing in shallow water that reeks of rot. The air is damp and heavy. The city noise becomes distant, muffled. Annabeth breathes hard. "This is it," she says. "One of the paths down." Percy gags. "Seriously? This is how you get to the underworld?" Annabeth wipes her forehead. "Do you want an elevator?" Naruto's voice is calm, despite the pain in his shoulder. Quiet. They listen. Above them, the grate clangs shut. Then silence. Too much silence. Naruto feels it again, that pressure, the sense of eyes in the dark. The underworld isn't here yet, but the path to it is like a throat. Something waits at the bottom. Annabeth's voice is tight. "We keep moving, no stopping, no talking unless necessary." Naruto nods once. They move through the tunnel, water sloshing around their ankles. Rats scatter. The air grows colder the deeper they go. The walls change gradually, less concrete, more stone. The smell shifts, less sewage, more earth, more old death. Percy's breathing is steady, but Naruto can see tension in his shoulders. Annabeth looks like she's forcing herself not to panic. Naruto feels strangely calm. He's walked into worse. The underworld is just another enemy territory. The difference is here, the enemy territory might be alive. A faint glow appears ahead, pale green, sickly. They reach a cavern-like chamber. The tunnel opens into a wide space with stone steps leading down into darkness. A faint river sound echoes from below. Annabeth stops. Her face is pale. "This is the entrance," she whispers. Percy swallows. "We just go down?" Annabeth nods. "We go down." Naruto looks at the steps, then at the darkness beyond. He thinks of Kushina. He thinks of Artemis. He thinks of a diadem stolen to start a god war. He exhales slowly. "Move," he says. They descend. The air grows colder with every step. The pale glow intensifies, revealing carvings on the walls. Ancient symbols, warnings, names scratched in languages mortals don't speak. The mist doesn't soften this, it sharpens it, as if the underworld refuses to be hidden. At the bottom of the steps, a figure waits. Tall, robed, face hidden by a hood, a lantern in one hand that burns with green flame. Karen. Naruto recognizes him from myth fragments and the way the air bends around him. The ferryman, the one who carries the dead. Karan's voice is dry. "Living," he says, like the word tastes wrong. "You are not supposed to be here." Percy steps forward, trying to look confident. "We're on a quest." Karen's hood tilts. All mortals say that when they trespass. Annabeth reaches into her pouch and pulls out a drachma coin. She holds it out. "Passage," she says. Charon's lantern flame flickers. 1 coin per soul. Annabeth stiffens. "We have 3. Charon's head tilts slightly. "And you carry something else," he says softly. Naruto's stomach tightens. Charon's lantern swings toward Naruto, green flame illuminating the edge of his face. Naruto feels the light touch him like fingers. Chiron's voice becomes a whisper. Interesting. Naruto's jaw tightens. We're not here to steal. We're here to retrieve. Chiron's lantern flame flickers again. All retrieval becomes theft in the underworld. Percy grits his teeth. Are you taking the coins or not? Karen pauses, then extends a bony hand. Annabeth drops the drachma into it. Karen's lantern swings toward a dark river behind him. Enter, he says. But understand this, the underworld keeps what it touches. Naruto's grip tightens on his sword. They step onto the ferry. The river is black. Not water exactly. Something thicker. Something that feels like it could swallow light. As the ferry glides forward, the city disappears completely. The world above becomes a rumor. Naruto stands at the edge of the boat, eyes narrowed, watching shadows move beneath the surface. Annabeth stands close, whispering to Percy, voice too low to catch fully. Percy looks like he wants to be brave and is forcing it. Karen's lantern casts green light over their faces, making them look like ghosts already. Naruto feels the pressure again. Not just monsters, something else. A presence. The ferry reaches the far shore. Chiron gestures to a stone archway leading into darkness. Proceed. They step off. The ground feels colder. The air feels heavier. Every breath tastes like old coins and gray soil. Annabeth's voice is tight. Stay close, she says. Naruto nods once, then pauses. He senses it. A new scent. Not death, not monster, divine. He turns his head slightly. On a ledge above the path, barely visible in the green glow, a figure stands watching. Tall, calm, cloaked. Naruto can't see the face, but he feels the gaze like a weight. The figure doesn't move, doesn't speak, just watches. Naruto's stomach knots. Because he knows that look. It's the look of someone who already knows the ending and is waiting to see if you realize you were never playing your own game at all. And as they walk deeper into the underworld's throat, Naruto finally understands what Eleanor tried to warn him about. This quest isn't just about finding Hera's diadem, it's about finding out who's pulling the strings. And whoever it is has already stepped close enough to breathe down their necks. Naruto keeps walking, but his senses stay hooked upward, toward that ledge. The figure doesn't follow, doesn't descend, doesn't announce itself like a god craving attention. It just stands there, still as stone, like it has all the time in the world. Annabeth's voice cuts low. Don't look. Naruto's eyes flick to her. You saw it. Annabeth's jaw tightens. I felt it. That's enough. Percy glances between them. What are you two talking about? Annabeth forces her face neutral. Nothing. Keep moving. Naruto doesn't push. Not here. Not where every word could echo into something listening. They pass through the archway, deeper into the underworld. The green light fades in and out, lantern glow replaced by cold phosphorescence that seeps from the stone itself. The ground changes underfoot. Less dirt, more polished rock, worn smooth by the passage of countless dead. Naruto's skin prickles with the sensation that the place remembers every footstep. They reach a fork in the path. One tunnel slopes downward into a cold wind that smells like iron. The other curves toward a faint orange glow, warmer, with distant sounds like murmuring voices. Annabeth stops, eyes narrowed. We take the left, she says. Percy frowns. Why? Annabeth's voice is tight. Because the right leads toward the fields of asphodel. The dead wander there, and sometimes other things wander with them. Percy swallows. Left it is. Naruto watches the tunnels. His instincts don't like either, but he trusts the one thing Annabeth has that he doesn't, familiarity. They take the left. The wind strengthens as they descend. It presses against them, carrying whispers that might be air moving through stone, or might be voices trying to find mouths. Percy shivers. Is it supposed to be this cold? Annabeth nods. The underworld isn't built for comfort. Naruto's gaze stays forward. It's built for containment. Annabeth glances at him, surprised by the phrasing. Then she nods once, grim. Yeah. They round a corner and the tunnel opens into a broad cavern that steals Percy's breath. A river cuts through it. Black, slow, and unnaturally silent. The surface looks flat until you stare too long, and then you swear you see faces moving beneath it, pressed upward like they want to break free. Naruto's jaw tightens. Percy whispers. That's the Styx. Annabeth's eyes narrow. Or a branch of it. Don't touch it. Naruto doesn't need the warning. Something in him recoils from that water the way the body recoils from poison. A stone bridge arches over the river, narrow and old, carved with symbols that look like warnings to anyone who can read them. They start across. Halfway over, the air changes. The first sign isn't sound, it's pressure. A weight behind them, like a storm front rolling in. Naruto stops without thinking. Annabeth stops too, instantly. Percy takes one more step, then notices the sudden stillness and freezes. Don't move, Annabeth whispers. Naruto's eyes flick to the far end of the bridge. Nothing there. then to the river. The surface still looks flat, and then he sees it. Darkness moving along the underside of the bridge like a living shadow. Something climbs. A shape pulls itself up from the river's edge and onto the bridge behind them. It's huge, bigger than the Cyclopes. Its body is low and powerful, built like a nightmare wolf, but with bones that jut in the wrong places and skin that looks too thick, too armored. Its eyes burn a dull red. Its mouth opens, and heat rolls out like a furnace. A hellhound, but not like the ones above. This one feels like a message. Percy's hand goes to his sword. We fight it? Annabeth's voice is thin. Not on the bridge. Naruto's mind runs angles. Narrow space. No room to dodge. Water beneath that punishes mistakes. A monster behind them that can absorb hits, he makes the call instantly. We run. Percy's head snaps toward him. What? Naruto's gaze stays on the hellhound as it prowls forward, claws scraping stone. This bridge is a choke point. If it pins us, one of us falls. Annabeth's jaw tightens. He's right. Percy swears under his breath. Great, running, again. They move fast but controlled, toward the far end of the bridge. The hellhound lunges. The bridge shudders under its weight. Its claws scrape stone, gaining ground frighteningly fast. Naruto runs last, because that's what you do when you don't trust the enemy's target selection. The hellhound snaps at his heels, jaws closing inches from his legs. Heat blasts his calves. Naruto pivots mid-run, slashes with his bronze blade, and the metal bites into the hellhound's snout. Ash sprays. But the monster doesn't dissolve. It barely even flinches. It roars, the sound vibrating through bone. Naruto's stomach drops. Reinforced, empowered, sent. He runs again. They reach the far end of the bridge and spill into a stone corridor. Annabeth shouts, "Left!" Percy turns without arguing. Naruto follows. The hellhound hits the corridor entrance like a battering ram, roaring, forcing itself through the narrow space like the stone is an inconvenience. The corridor branches, tight passageways, sudden drops, dead ends. The underworld is a maze built by something that doesn't care about the living. Annabeth leads, moving with fierce certainty. This way. A second roar echoes ahead. Naruto's blood turns cold. Another hellhound drops into the corridor in front of them, blocking the path. This one is smaller but faster, eyes burning hotter. They're being herded. Percy skids to a stop. You've got to be kidding me. Annabeth's eyes dart, calculating. Back. The first hellhound closes from behind. The second creeps forward, head low, saliva sizzling on stone. Naruto steps forward between them and his teammates. His mind goes razor sharp. He can't afford a long fight here. The corridor is too tight. The river is too close. And if these hellhounds are coordinated, more are coming. He exhales. He lets the smallest thread of the nine tails pressure leak out. Not a cloak, not visible, just a warning vibration in the air. Both hellhounds hesitate. Good. Naruto uses the hesitation to act. Two shadow clones snap into existence beside him, silent, fast, identical. Annabeth's eyes widen. Percy's mouth opens. Naruto doesn't explain. One clone charges the hellhound behind them, blade flashing, drawing its attention. The other clone feints toward the front hellhound, forcing it to turn its head and track movement. Naruto grabs Annabeth's shoulder. Run, now! Annabeth snaps out of it instantly, moving. Percy follows, still staring, but his feet obey. Naruto runs with them, but he watches the corridor behind, tracking the hellhound's reactions. The rear hellhound lunges for the clone and slams it into the wall. The clone pops into smoke, but not before landing two deep slashes across the monster's forelegs. Ash sprays. The hellhound roars, slowed. The front hellhound snaps at the other clone. The clone ducks, slides under it, and slashes upward. The hellhound snarls and bites down. Smoke. Clone gone. But the bite bought Naruto seconds. Seconds are life. They sprint deeper into the maze, following Annabeth's instincts, turning corners, climbing steps, dropping down ledges. The underworld air grows thicker, pressing against their lungs. Percy breathes hard. How do you do that? He gasps between strides. Naruto doesn't answer. He keeps moving. Annabeth throws him a look that's half accusation, half awe, but she doesn't slow either. Behind them roars Echo. The hellhounds keep coming. Annabeth skids around a bend and stops short. Naruto nearly collides with her, then sees why. The corridor opens into a vast cavern, and in the center is a river different from the one before. It moves faster, churning, its surface broken by jagged black rocks like teeth. A stone walkway lines the edge, narrow and slick. Across the river, an iron gate looms, tall, brutal, carved with skulls and screaming faces, and standing between them and that gate is something worse than a hellhound. A beast the size of a small building, hunched and muscular, with skin like cracked stone and a head that looks like a lion's skull fused with something reptilian. Chains wrap its body like ornaments. Its eyes burn with slow intelligence. It lifts its head and inhales. Naruto feels the air shift. The creature's gaze locks on them. It smiles, not like an animal, like something that knows its job. Percy's voice comes out thin. What is that? Annabeth's face is pale. A guardian. Naruto's jaw tightens. Of what? Annabeth swallows. The path. The guardian steps forward. The ground trembles under its weight. Its chains rattle, and the sound makes Naruto's skin crawl like the noise is meant to trigger panic. The hellhounds' roars echo behind them, closing, trapped between teeth and teeth. Annabeth's voice shakes slightly, but her eyes stay fierce. We can't fight that. Percy's grip tightens on his sword. So what do we do? Naruto's mind moves faster than fear. The guardian is centered. The river is fast. The walkway is narrow. The gate is the goal. A classic kill zone. Someone designed this. He looks up. He feels it again. The sense of eyes, of presence, like someone watching from above. The same feeling from the ledge earlier. Naruto's stomach twists. Move, he says sharply. We go left, along the river edge. Don't stop! Annabeth snaps her head toward him. Left leads toward. I don't care, Naruto cuts in. We die here if we hesitate. Percy glances between them. I'm with Naruto. Annabeth's jaw clenches, but she pivots and runs left, hugging the wall. Naruto runs behind her, Percy behind Naruto. The guardian roars and charges, chains clanging, aiming to cut them off from the walkway. Hellhounds burst into the cavern behind, snarling, eyes fixed. The cavern becomes a funnel of death. Naruto's breath stays steady. His mind is pure geometry. They reach a section where the stone walkway narrows, slick with moisture. The river rushes below, loud now, alive. Annabeth's feet slip slightly, but she catches herself, moving with grim control. Percy's sneakers skid. He swears, this is insane. Naruto's voice is tight. Don't look down. Percy laughs once, breathless. Too late. The guardian closes from the right, swinging a chained foreleg like a wrecking ball. Naruto's eyes widen. Down. Annabeth drops flat. Percy drops too, barely. The chain slams into the stone above them, exploding shards. One shard grazes Naruto's cheek, a hot slice of pain. They scramble up and keep running. The guardian roars again, frustrated. It can't fully reach them without stepping onto the narrow walkway itself. That limits it. Good. But the hellhounds don't have that limitation. They leap from rock to rock, closing from behind. Naruto glances back. 3 of them. 2 smaller, 1 large. The large one, the reinforced one, moves with purpose. It doesn't charge blindly. It waits for the right angle, like it's being directed. Naruto's jaw tightens. He spawns another clone mid-run, just one to fall back and slow the pack. The clone turns and meets the nearest hellhound with a slash that sprays ash. But the monster doesn't dissolve. It snaps the clone in half. Smoke. But the delay matters. They reach a bend where the walkway narrows into a bridge-like span over a violent churn of water. The river here surges upward in white-black foam. The noise is deafening. Annabeth slows slightly, eyes darting. We can cross, she shouts over the roar. But if the guardian, a chain whips toward them again, Naruto's eyes flare. Run! They sprint onto the narrow span. The guardian lunges from the side, trying to slam onto the bridge. The stone shakes. Cracks spiderweb beneath their feet. Percy's face goes pale. Guys? Annabeth's voice is tight. Don't stop! They run harder. The large hellhound leaps from behind onto the bridge, landing with a heavy impact that deepens the cracks. The span groans. Naruto's stomach drops. This is it. The trap. They're going to be forced into the river. Naruto pivots mid-run and slashes at the hellhound's foreleg, trying to destabilize it. Bronze bites. Ash sprays. The hellhound roars and snaps at him, teeth missing his arm by inches. Percy, desperate, swings his sword at its flank. The hellhound recoils slightly, then lunges again. Annabeth reaches the far side and turns, eyes wild. Come on! The bridge cracks again. The guardian roars and slams its weight onto the near side, chains rattling. The stone fractures further. The large hellhound's eyes gleam with satisfaction like it understands physics. Percy's foot slips on a cracked stone slab. For a single second, he teeters over the edge, arms flailing. Naruto's body moves on instinct. He lunges forward, grabs Percy's wrist, and yanks. The bridge breaks. Stone drops out from under them like the world giving up. Naruto's fingers slip. Percy's eyes lock on his, wide and shocked. And then Percy falls. He drops into the churning black river, swallowed instantly. The sound of his splash is lost in the roar. Annabeth screams his name, raw, horrified. Naruto's heart punches once, hard. The guardian roars like victory. The hellhounds howl, circling, hungry. Annabeth stumbles forward as if she'll throw herself in after him, but Naruto grabs her arm and yanks her back. "Don't," Naruto snaps. Annabeth whips on him, eyes furious, wet with shock. "He fell. We have to." Naruto's voice is brutal because it has to be. "If you jump, you die too." Annabeth shakes, breathing hard, tears threatening, but she doesn't pull away. She's a strategist. She knows the truth even when she hates it. Naruto looks at the river, mind racing. Percy isn't dead, not yet. He's a sea kid. Water is his thing. But this river is wrong. Underworld water. A current that eats. Naruto closes his eyes for half a heartbeat and forces calm. Then he does the only thing he can do. He makes himself bigger. 3 shadow clones pop into existence around him. Fast. Silent. Annabeth flinches at the sudden swarm. Naruto points. "2 of you hold this line. Keep the hellhounds off. Don't let the guardian cross." The clones nod and split, moving to engage the hellhounds as they creep forward. Naruto turns to the remaining clone. "You're with me." Annabeth grabs Naruto's sleeve. "What are you doing?" Naruto's voice is steady. "We get Percy." Annabeth's eyes widen. "How? That river?" Naruto looks at her. "You can't leave the mission leader dead." The quest collapses. Annabeth swallows hard, and the panic shifts into something else. Purpose. "I can't lose him," she whispers like she hates how much the words matter. Naruto nods once. "Then help me." They run along the riverbank, searching for any sign bubbles, movement, anything. The river churns violently, carrying black foam. Then Naruto sees it, a flash of bronze, spinning in the current. Percy's sword. The fact that it's not in his hand hits like a punch. Annabeth sees it too. She makes a choking sound. Naruto's stomach twists. He scans harder. There, something breaks the surface near a rock outcropping. A hand. Fingers grasping, slipping. Percy's head emerges briefly, eyes squeezed shut, mouth open in a silent gasp as the current drags him under again. He's being pulled, not just down, sideways, toward something. Naruto feels it. The river's current isn't random. It's guiding him toward a darker channel that disappears into a cave mouth. A throat. Annabeth's voice cracks. "Percy!" Percy's head breaks the surface again, and he actually hears her this time. His eyes open, wild, and he reaches. The current yanks him toward the cave mouth. Naruto's mind snaps into decision mode. He can't swim in that. Not in this body. Not against that current. So he doesn't fight the water, he fights the path. He points at the cave mouth. That's where it's taking him. Annabeth follows his gaze, face pale. That goes deeper. Naruto's jaw tightens. Then we go deeper. Annabeth hesitates for the smallest fraction, then nods hard. "Okay." They sprint along the river edge, heading toward the cave mouth. Behind them, the cavern roars with battle clones slashing, hellhounds snarling, chains clanging, stone cracking. Naruto doesn't look back. Percy is the priority. Mid-roll. If you're still here, lock in. Because from this point forward, the underworld stops being a maze and starts being a meat grinder. They reach the cave mouth just as Percy is dragged inside, disappearing into darkness. Annabeth skids to a stop, breathing hard. "We can't just..." Naruto cuts her off. "We can." He steps into the cave. Cold air hits him like a wall. The river here narrows into a fast channel, rushing through stone like a vein. The cave walls glisten with moisture. The sound of the water becomes louder, tighter, more enclosed, like being inside a throat. Annabeth follows, gripping her dagger so hard her knuckles whiten. Naruto spawns one more clone and points back. "Go, tell the others," Annabeth snaps. "There are no others." Naruto's jaw tightens. "Then you go back and help the clones if they're still holding. If they fail, we get trapped." Annabeth's eyes flash with fury and fear. "I'm not leaving Percy." Naruto holds her gaze. "Then we do both." He points to the clone. "You. Stay with Annabeth if she gets separated. If Percy surfaces, grab him. If I'm dragged under, you pull." The clone nods, expression identical to Naruto's grim focus. They move deeper into the cave, following the river's path. Percy surfaces once, just once, near a rock, coughing, eyes wide. Annabeth lunges forward, but the current yanks him away again. Naruto's breath stays steady. "Don't jump," he warns. Annabeth's voice is raw. "Then what do I do?" Naruto scans the cave walls. A series of uneven stone ledges line the side, like steps carved by water over centuries. He points. "We outrun him." Annabeth stares. "Outrun a river?" Naruto's eyes narrow. "We get ahead of where it's taking him. We intercept." Annabeth doesn't argue. She climbs. They move along the ledges, running where they can, scrambling where they must. The cave bends and twists. The air grows colder. The glow becomes faint green and sickly. And then the cave opens. They emerge into a massive underground chamber that makes Naruto's chest tighten. The river widens into a swirling pool that looks like a mouth of black water, spinning slowly. On the far side, a stone platform rises, carved with symbols that pulse faintly with dark light. Percy is dragged toward that platform like the water itself is delivering him. Annabeth swears, voice shaking. That's not natural. Naruto's jaw tightens. Someone built this. A shape moves on the platform, tall, robed, face hidden. The same presence Naruto felt earlier, watching, waiting. The figure lifts one hand, and the river's swirl intensifies. Percy is pulled faster, helpless. Annabeth's breath hitches. Who is that? Naruto's voice goes cold. The one pulling strings. The figure turns its head slightly, as if it heard Naruto's words across the roar of water. And then it speaks, not loud, but perfectly clear, like the underworld itself carries the voice into their ears. You are persistent, it says. Annabeth steps forward, dagger raised. Let him go! The figure's hood tilts, amused. The son of the sea always thinks he can swim out of consequence. Percy surfaces, choking, eyes wild. Annabeth! The water yanks him again. Naruto's mind snaps into action. He can't fight the river, but he can fight the controller. He looks around the chamber, scanning for the mechanism, the anchor point. Magic here would have a source, a symbol, a focus. His eyes catch it. A ring of black stones around the pool, each carved with runes that pulse faintly. A ritual circle. He points to the nearest stone. Break them. Annabeth follows his gaze, understanding flashing. She darts toward the circle, slamming her dagger into one of the runed stones. The stone cracks. The pulse flickers. Percy's body jerks in the water as if the pull weakens slightly. The hooded figure's head snaps toward Annabeth. For the first time, irritation slips into the voice. Athena's child. Naruto moves too, sprinting toward another rune stone. He raises his bronze sword and slashes down. The blade bites. Stone fractures. The rune's glow sputters. The pool's swirl falters again. Percy coughs, getting half a breath. The figure lifts its hand higher, and the runes flare brighter, compensating. Naruto's jaw tightens. Faster. He spawns two clones mid-sprint. They split instantly, each rushing a runestone. Bronze flashes. Stone cracks. Runes sputter. The pool's pull weakens. Percy's head breaks the surface again. Gasping, he claws toward the edge. Annabeth lunges to grab him. The hooded figure flicks its wrist. A wave surges from the pool like a fist and slams Percy back under. Annabeth stumbles, nearly falling into the water herself. Naruto's stomach drops. The figure isn't just maintaining the trap, it can actively strike. Naruto's voice goes sharp. Annabeth back. Annabeth staggers away, breathing hard, eyes furious. Naruto steps between her and the pool, sword raised. The hooded figure's voice turns almost conversational. A shinobi child in a demigod camp, it murmurs. A foreign soul stitched into a young body. I wondered when Olympus would notice. Naruto's eyes narrow. It knows. How? Naruto says, voice cold. Do you know what I am? The figure's hood tilts. Because I have studied worlds. Because I have watched gods make mistakes. And because your scent is not just godly. Naruto's jaw tightens. The figure's voice drops, more intimate, more dangerous. There is a beast in you. A storm chained behind your ribs. That kind of power draws attention everywhere. Annabeth's eyes flick to Naruto, shocked. She clearly didn't know, or didn't want to. Naruto doesn't flinch. What do you want? The figure laughs softly. The diadem is a spark. The war is the fire. But you, it pauses, sabering. You are an accelerant. Naruto's grip tightens. The clones finish breaking the last runestones. The circle's glow sputters and dies. The pool's swirl collapses into chaos. Percy shoots to the surface like the river spits him out, coughing violently, arms flailing. Naruto lunges forward, grabs Percy's wrist, and hauls with everything his small body can give. His clone helps, both pulling Percy towards solid ground. Percy's fingers catch the ledge. He scrambles up, gasping, coughing up black water that steams on the stone. Annabeth drops beside him, hands on his shoulders. Percy! Percy! Breathe! Percy coughs again, eyes squeeze shut, then finally drags in air like it's the first time he's ever tasted it. Naruto doesn't relax, because the hooded figure is still there, and now it's angry. The figure steps forward on the platform, and for the first time the air shifts like a blade being drawn from a sheath. The chamber darkens slightly. The river's sound lowers, as if it's listening. You broke my circle, the figure says. Naruto raises his sword. You tried to drown him. The figure's voice turns colder. I tried to deliver him. Annabeth snarls. To who? The figure pauses. Then it speaks a name like it's dropping a stone into deep water. Discord. Naruto's stomach twists. Not a person, a concept, a force. The figure lifts a hand. The river behind it surges, not toward them, upward. It forms into shapes. Black water molded into wolves and hands and chains, all writhing, all reaching. Annabeth pulls Percy back, dagger raised. Percy staggers to his feet, still coughing, sword gone. His eyes dart wildly. My sword! Naruto doesn't look away from the figure. Forget it. Percy's eyes snap to him. I can't. Naruto's voice is brutal. You can. Percy flinches, then nods, breathing hard. Naruto's clones move into formation without needing instruction. 2 take the left, 1 takes the right. Naruto stays center. The water shapes lunge. Naruto slashes through 1, bronze cutting water that shouldn't be cut. It collapses, but reforms. The clones hack and shove, buying seconds. Annabeth grabs Percy's arm. We have to go. Percy's voice is strained. How? That thing. Naruto sees it, a narrow side passage behind a cluster of stalagmites, partially hidden in shadow. A way out. He points sharply. There. Annabeth drags Percy toward it. Naruto and his clones fight backward, cutting, shoving, blocking the water shapes as they swarm. The hooded figure watches, still as a statue. It doesn't chase, it doesn't rush. That's what terrifies Naruto. It's letting them run. Because it wants them to carry something out, a message, a mark. Naruto's stomach knots. As Annabeth and Percy reach the side passage, the hooded figure finally speaks again, voice low and satisfied. Tell Olympus, it says, that the Underworld does not return what is taken. Naruto's eyes narrow. You're trying to frame Hades. The figure laughs softly. No, it says. I'm trying to make them believe they found the truth. Naruto backs into the side passage last, slashing 1 final time to clear space. His final clone pops, smoke bursting, as the water shapes slam forward. Naruto turns and runs. The side passage is narrow, twisting upward. The air grows slightly less cold, but the pressure remains. Percy runs unsteadily, still recovering. Annabeth keeps a hand on his shoulder, dragging him when he stumbles. Naruto runs behind them, listening for pursuit. None comes. Only the river's roar fading behind. They burst out into a different corridor, older, carved with cleaner stone, lined with faintly glowing torches that burn without heat. Annabeth stops, breathing hard, eyes wide. What was that? Percy leans against the wall, coughing. He swallows hard. I almost died. Annabeth's voice cracks. You did, for a second. Percy looks at her, stunned by the emotion in her voice. Naruto watches them, jaw tight, because he doesn't have room for softness right now. That figure wasn't a random monster. It knew him. It spoke like it had a plan for him, and it let them go. Naruto's voice is low. We're being guided. Annabeth wipes her face roughly, forcing her eyes dry. By who? Naruto's gaze flicks to the corridor ahead, then back to the darkness behind. Someone who wants a god war. Percy exhales shakily. Then we get the diadem and stop it. Naruto's eyes narrow. If we can. They move again. The corridor opens into another cavern, this one filled with faint lights like stars trapped under stone. Shadows move in the distance. Souls, maybe, or memories pretending to be souls. Annabeth leads them carefully, avoiding the drifting figures. Percy whispers, How do you know where you're going? Annabeth's voice is tight. I don't. I'm following the pull. Naruto's brow furrows. Pull? Annabeth glances at him. Quests do that. The prophecy pulls you toward the next event. It's subtle, but it's there. Naruto's jaw tightens. Strings. They follow the pull until the cavern narrows into a corridor with an iron door at the end. The door is carved with symbols of authority and marriage and rage. Hera. Annabeth stops, breathing hard. That's her. Percy's voice is quiet. The diadem is behind that door? Naruto studies the door. It feels like a trap wearing a lock. He reaches out and touches the iron. Cold bites his fingers. Then the door shudders. A voice hums through the metal, feminine, regal, furious. You are late. Percy flinches. Annabeth goes pale. Naruto's spine tightens. Because that voice doesn't belong to the hooded figure, it belongs to a queen. And as the iron door begins to open by itself, Naruto realizes the underworld chase wasn't the climax. It was the funnel. Whatever waits behind this door has been expecting them all along. The iron groans as it opens, slow and deliberate, like a throne room door deciding whether you deserve to enter. Cold rolls out first, not just underworld cold, judgment cold, the kind that makes even monsters step carefully. Percy straightens despite the shake in his hands. Annabeth's eyes are wide, calculating every angle. Naruto's grip tightens on his bronze short sword, but he doesn't raise it. He knows better than to threaten what lives behind that voice. The door opens fully. Beyond it is a chamber carved from dark stone and lit by a pale, steady glow that doesn't flicker. It isn't warm. It isn't welcoming. It's simply there, like a spotlight that never turns off. At the center stands a woman. Not tall like a warrior goddess. Not radiant like a sun god. She stands with a quiet, absolute presence, draped in regal fabric that looks like it was woven from authority itself. Her eyes are sharp and ancient. Her expression is calm in the way a storm is calm before it tears cities apart. Hera. Annabeth's throat tightens. She doesn't kneel, but the instinct is there, burning in her bones. Percy swallows and manages. Lady Hera. Hera's gaze slides over Percy, then Annabeth, then settles on Naruto and stays there one beat longer than it should. Naruto feels it like a weight pressing down on his sternum. "You're late," Hera repeats, and the words land like a verdict, not a complaint. Percy shifts. "We got attacked. A lot." Hera's expression doesn't change. "Yes," she says, as if the attacks were part of a schedule. The underworld is restless, and there are those who take advantage of restlessness. Annabeth's voice is careful, controlled. "We saw a figure. It tried to drown Percy. It spoke about discord." Hera's eyes narrow slightly, the first sign of real irritation. "Eris," she says, and the name tastes bitter. She has always loved fire. Naruto's jaw tightens. He watches Hera's hands. No weapon, no obvious threat. Just power sitting in a body like a crown. "Where is my diadem?" Hera asks. Percy blinks. We're looking for it." Hera's gaze turns colder. "You're looking for it," she repeats, "and yet you bring me nothing." Annabeth's voice stays steady. "We're following the trail. Someone is framing. Someone is distracting," Hera cuts in, and the chamber seems to dim slightly at the sharpness of her tone. Framing is what mortals say when they cannot accept that they are pawns. Naruto's eyes narrow. Hera turns her attention fully to him. The air tightens. "And you," she says softly, "you are not from here." Percy glances at Naruto, startled. Annabeth stiffens. Naruto keeps his voice calm. "I'm here." Hera's lips curve faintly, not a smile, more like a knife acknowledging another knife. "Yes, you are, which means someone moved you." Naruto doesn't answer. He refuses to give her the satisfaction. He's dealt with leaders who ask questions only to measure how much they already know. Hera steps closer. The glow around her intensifies, and Naruto feels the underworld itself take a breath. "You carry more than one destiny," Hera says, almost conversational. "That's why the monsters are louder around you. That's why Artemis is upset." Annabeth's eyes flash. Percy's brows furrow. Naruto's stomach tightens. "You know about Artemis." Hera's gaze is amused now. "Of course I do. She is family. She is also predictable." Naruto's voice stays controlled. "Then tell me what this really is." Hera pauses. Then she says, "This is a test." Percy's face tightens. "A test? People almost died." Hera's gaze slides to him, cool and dismissive. "People always almost die," she says. "Your kind exists to almost die and sometimes survive." Annabeth's jaw clenches, but she doesn't speak. Naruto steps half a pace forward, not aggressive, but present. "You called us here. You waited behind a door like you knew we'd survive." Hera's eyes flicker with faint approval. "Yes." Naruto's grip tightens. "So what do you want?" Hera looks at Percy. "You, son of the sea, will retrieve my diadem. It has been moved. It will be returned. The gods will see it in your hands, and the accusations will stop." Percy swallows. "Okay." Hera looks back at Naruto. "And you," she says, and the chamber seems to lean toward him, "will do something different." Naruto doesn't blink. "Say it." Hera's eyes sharpen. "You will undertake a labor." Annabeth's breath catches. Percy looks confused. "A labor?" Percy repeats. Hera nods once, slow. "A task issued not by me, but by the Moirai." Naruto's spine tightens. Annabeth whispers, "The fates." The word hits like a door slamming in Naruto's chest. He's felt strings. He's hated strings. Now the ones holding the scissors are mentioned aloud. Hera continues, voice steady, cruelly calm. "The labor is simple in concept, not simple in execution." Naruto's eyes narrow. "And if I refuse?" Hera's gaze is cold. Refusal is irrelevant. The fates do not negotiate. Annabeth's voice is tight. "What labor?" Hera looks at Naruto like she's about to hand him a sentence. "You will repeat the 11th labor of Heracles." Percy's eyes widen. The apples?" Annabeth goes pale. Naruto's brow furrows. "Explain." Hera's lips curve faintly again. "The apples of the Hesperides," she says. "Golden fruit guarded by a dragon kept beyond reach. Heracles retrieved them once, by strength, by cunning, and by making bargains with beings who do not like to bargain." Annabeth's voice is a whisper, horrified. "That labor is impossible." Hera's gaze doesn't soften. "It is not impossible. It is simply, statistically, unkind." Naruto's jaw tightens. "Why me?" Hera's eyes glitter. "Because the Moirai issued it. Because your presence is an anomaly. And because Olympus needs proof. Unkind, ye. Proof of what?" Naruto snaps, and the air in the chamber vibrates. Hera doesn't flinch. "Proof that you can be integrated into our world's order," she says. or proof that you cannot. Annabeth's fists clench. This is insane. You can't just... Hera's gaze cuts to Annabeth, sharp. Silence, she says softly. You are an advisor at best. Do not mistake proximity to heroes for authority. Annabeth goes still, face burning. Naruto's eyes go cold. He turns to Hera fully. Stealing from my mother would make me lower than dirt. The words leave his mouth before he can stop them. The chamber goes quiet. Percy's head snaps toward Naruto. Annabeth's eyes widen. Even Hera's expression shifts just a fraction. Hera's voice becomes very calm. Your mother, she repeats. Naruto's stomach tightens. He realizes what he just did. He gave her a lever. Hera studies him like she's found something interesting. So the rumors are true, she murmurs. You are connected to a foreign divine line. Naruto's jaw tightens. I'm not stealing anything from anyone. Hera's lips curve. You misunderstand. The labor is not theft. Naruto's eyes narrow. Then what is it? Hera gestures, and a scroll appears in her hand like it was always there. She unrolls it with slow, deliberate care. This is the record of that labor issued by the Moirai, she says. 450 times. Annabeth's breath catches sharply. 450? Hera nods, as if reciting weather. Only 2 have succeeded. Percy swallows hard. 2. Naruto's chest tightens. Hera's eyes lock on Naruto. This is not just a task. It is a sieve. It filters the worthy from the waste. The fates are efficient. Annabeth's voice comes out strained. You can't just send a kid. Hera's gaze is cold. He is not a child, she says. And the way she says it makes Naruto's stomach knot, because it means she can see it too. He is wearing a child. Percy looks at Naruto like the ground just shifted. Annabeth's face tightens, conflicted, like a puzzle piece just snapped into place, and she hates that it fits. Naruto's voice is low. Enough. Hera's eyes glitter. No, not enough. Not yet. She turns to Percy, as if Naruto is already decided. Your path and his path will intersect again, she says. But for now, you focus on the diadem. You will bring it to me. Percy's jaw tightens. Where is it? Hera's gaze turns distant, like she's looking across realms. In a bag, she says softly. A simple mortal bag that a boy carries like it's nothing. Percy frowns. A bag? Annabeth's eyes narrow. A backpack, she whispers, as if the word tastes wrong. Hera's gaze returns to Naruto. And you, she says again. You will complete the Moirai's labor. Return with proof. Naruto's grip tightens on his sword. Proof of what? Apples? Hera's eyes harden. Proof of completion, she says. Proof that the world bent for you instead of breaking you. Naruto's jaw clenches. And if I fail? Hera's voice is quiet. Then you will die, or worse. And Olympus will consider the anomaly resolved. Annabeth's face goes pale with rage. Percy's expression tightens. Naruto feels heat flare in his chest, the kind of heat that wants to become a tailed beast roar and burn this chamber down. He forces it down. He leans in slightly, voice controlled, deadly calm. You're using us. Hera's expression doesn't change. Of course I am, she says. I am Hera. The honesty is almost worse than a lie. Then, without warning, the chamber shifts. The pale glow dims. The stone under their feet feels less like a room and more like a threshold. Hera's voice becomes distant, like she's speaking from the other side of a wall. You will be returned to the path, she says. Do not disappoint me. Annabeth steps forward, fury breaking through her control. You can't just split the quest like this. Hera's gaze snaps to her, sharp as glass. Watch me. The world lurches. Naruto feels a pull in his gut, like being yanked by a hook. Percy shouts, Wait! Annabeth grabs Percy's sleeve. Naruto's body moves on instinct. He reaches for Annabeth's arm, trying to anchor them together. And the underworld tears. Light flares. The chamber dissolves. Naruto hits stone hard, breath knocked out of him. He rolls automatically, rising to one knee, sword up. He's not in Hera's chamber anymore. He's in a different corridor, narrow, angled, lit by faint green torches. The air is colder, the pressure is heavier, and he is alone. For a heartbeat, the silence rings. Then footsteps echo ahead. Naruto freezes, senses stretching. A figure emerges from the dark. Not Charon, not a monster, not a god. A girl. Tall, athletic, dark hair pulled back, eyes like flint. Her posture is rigid with anger, like she is barely holding herself together. She wears silver gray armor that looks older than modern metal, and a bow is strapped across her back. Hunter's gear, Artemis's. But she isn't one of the faceless girls from camp. This one carries grief like a blade. Her eyes lock onto Naruto and sharpen into open hatred. Zoe Nightshade. Naruto feels it instantly, the way her name sits in the air like it matters. Like she is a story with teeth. Zoe's voice is low and shaking with fury. You, she says. Naruto stands, small body steady, eyes calm. Me. Zoe steps closer, fists clenched. Because of you, she will suffer, she hisses. Naruto's jaw tightens. Artemis. Zoe's eyes blaze at the name. Do not speak of my lady like you understand her. Naruto's voice stays controlled. Then explain. Zoe laughs once, bitter. Explain? She gestures sharply, as if the whole underworld is insulted by his ignorance. You arrive, and the gods move like you are their new toy. Hera issues impossible labors. The Moirai cut new lines. Artemis's hunters whisper and worry and look at the sky like it might fall. Naruto's eyes narrow. I didn't ask for this. Zoe's face twists. Neither did she. Naruto's stomach tightens. Then why are you here? Zoe's gaze hardens. Because I will not let my lady be trapped by a mortal boy's whims. Naruto's jaw clenches. My whims? Zoe steps closer. The air tightens around her like a drawn bowstring. You will break her, she says softly, almost like a vow, and I will not allow that. Naruto's fingers flex on his sword hilt. He forces them still. You think I'm here to seduce your goddess, he says flatly. That's what this is? Zoe's eyes flash. Do not mock it. Naruto's voice is cold. Then stop treating me like I planned it. Zoe's expression flickers. Conflict, then more anger. Like conflict is weakness she refuses to allow. Plans do not matter, she says. Outcomes do. Naruto exhales slowly. Fine. Outcome, I want out. Zoe stares at him. Liar. Naruto's eyes go colder. You want to know what I want? I want my people safe. I want my war finished. I want to stop being moved like a piece. Zoe's gaze stays hard, but something in her eyes shifts. A fraction. She recognizes the taste of duty. She recognizes being chained to a cause. Then she tightens again. And yet you will still destroy her. Naruto's jaw tightens. Why does she care at all? Zoe's mouth opens, then closes. Her eyes flash with frustration, like the truth is a blade she doesn't want to reveal because it cuts her too. Because she swore, Zoe says finally. Because she made a pact when she was cornered by other gods' games, and now that pact has teeth. Naruto's stomach drops. He hears Kushina's voice again. 9 years. Zoe's voice grows sharper, more raw. She is proud, she says. She is a goddess. She does not beg. But she came to me in the night and asked what to do. Zoe's eyes burn. Do you understand what that means? Naruto's throat tightens slightly. It means Artemis is scared, not of monsters, of being bound. Naruto's voice stays steady. I'm not trying to bind her. Zoe's laugh is bitter. Intent doesn't matter to Pax, she says. Only the terms. Naruto's eyes narrow. Then tell me the terms. Zoe's expression hardens and she shakes her head. No, if I speak it, it tightens. If I explain it, it becomes realer. Naruto's jaw tightens. It's already real. Zoe steps closer again, posture like a challenge. You will not touch her, she says. You will not charm her. You will not use her fears against her. Naruto's gaze doesn't flinch. I don't need your goddess. I need to survive this labor. Zoe's eyes narrow. The labor. Naruto nods once. The apples. Zoe's face twists, and for the first time her anger looks like fear. That labor kills heroes, she says. It breaks them. It humbles them. It turns them into warnings. Naruto's voice is calm. Then I won't break. Zoe stares at him like she wants to believe that and hates herself for wanting to. A horn sounds in the distance, deep, echoing through stone. Not the camp horn. Something older. Zoe's eyes flick toward the sound. The path is moving, she mutters. Naruto's brow furrows. What path? Zoe looks back at him, and her voice turns hard again, like she's putting armor back on. The Moirai's labor has a root, she says. It will pull you. It will test you. It will bring you to the garden. Naruto's eyes narrow. Then you know the way. Zoe hesitates for the smallest fraction. Then her jaw tightens. Yes. Naruto holds her gaze. Then you're coming. Zoe's eyes flash. I am not your companion. Naruto's voice is blunt. I didn't ask. I'm stating reality. I'm 9 years old in a labyrinth of death. You're a trained hunter who knows the route. If you want your goddess safe from the outcome you fear, then you help me finish this quickly. Zoe's expression twists, furious at the logic because it's solid. Naruto leans in slightly, controlled. Or you leave me alone, I stumble, and the fates drag this out for years. Which outcome protects Artemis better? Zoe's fists clench, her shoulders tense like she's about to shout. Then she exhales through her nose, sharp. You are insufferable, she says. Naruto's mouth twists. I've been told. Zoe turns and starts walking. Fine, she snaps. I will guide you. Not because you deserve it, because the alternative is worse. Naruto follows. The corridor bends and twists, always downward, always toward deeper pressure. The green torches flicker as they pass, flames leaning toward them like they're curious. Zoe moves with practiced confidence, bow strapped tight, steps silent. Naruto watches her footwork and sees the discipline. She's trained like a shinobi, just in a different language. They pass through an archway into a wider cavern, and the air changes again. It smells faintly sweet. Naruto's stomach tightens. Sweetness in enemy territory is always bait. Zoe slows, eyes narrowed. "Do not eat anything," she murmurs. Naruto glances at her. "Obvious." Zoe's jaw tightens. "It isn't obvious to heroes." Naruto's eyes narrow. "I'm not a hero." Zoe shoots him a look. "You are on a hero's road," she says. "That makes you one whether you like it or not." Naruto doesn't answer. They reach a stone bridge over a dark ravine. Wind rises from below, carrying whispers. Naruto ignores them. Whispers don't kill you. Distraction does. As they cross, Zoe speaks without looking at him. "You spoke of your mother," she says quietly. Naruto's jaw tightens. It slipped. Zoe's voice is tight. "Artemis will not like that." Naruto glances at her. "Why?" Zoe's eyes stay forward. "Because your mother is involved," she says carefully. "And Artemis hates being trapped by anyone's plan." Naruto's stomach knots. "So my mother made this." Zoe's jaw clenches. "I do not know all of it," she says. "I only know Artemis's pain." Naruto's voice goes colder. "And you assume I'm the weapon." Zoe's shoulders tense. "You are," she says bluntly, "even if you did not forge yourself into one." Naruto exhales slowly, forcing the rage down. "Then help the weapon complete the labor." Zoe's lips press into a thin line. She doesn't respond. They descend again, and the ground begins to change. Stone gives way to something like packed earth. The air becomes damp, rich, alive. The green torches fade, replaced by faint natural light leaking from cracks above, impossible in a place this deep. Naruto's instincts scream. Life this far down is wrong. Zoe slows, voice low. "We are close," she says. Naruto's grip tightens on his sword. "The garden." Zoe nods once. "The Hesperides domain," she murmurs, "or something like it." They emerge into a massive cavern that steals Naruto's breath. A grove grows here, trees heavy with golden fruit that glows faintly, leaves shimmering as if brushed with starlight. Vines curl around stone columns. Flowers bloom in colors that shouldn't exist underground. The air is thick with sweet scent. It's beautiful. And Naruto has never trusted beauty in enemy territory. At the edge of the grove stands a figure, not hooded, not hidden, a woman with skin like polished bronze and eyes like molten gold. She wears a smile that is too warm, too inviting, a bowl of fruit in her hands, a Hesperid. She steps forward slightly, gaze sliding over Naruto and Zoe. "Welcome," she says, voice like honey. "You look tired." Zoe's posture tightens. Her hand drifts toward her bow. "Do not speak to us," she snaps. The Hesperid laughs softly. "Ah," she says, amused. "A hunter, always suspicious, always sharp." Her gaze shifts to Naruto, lingering. "And you," she murmurs, "you smell like storm and foreign blood." Naruto's eyes narrow. The Hesperid's smile widens. "You have come for the apples," she says, as if naming it makes it a game. "Of course you have." Naruto's voice is calm. "We're not here to talk." The Hesperid tilts her head, feigning sadness. "But talking is so much safer than fighting," she says, "and you are very small." Naruto's jaw tightens. Zoe steps forward, eyes blazing. "You will not play with him." The Hesperid's smile doesn't fade. "Play?" she repeats. "I offer hospitality, food, rest, answers." She holds up the bowl slightly. "A gift." Naruto's stomach tightens. "Poison." The Hesperid chuckles. "Not poison," she says. "Temptation." Naruto's eyes go colder. "Same thing." The Hesperid sighs as if disappointed. "Heroes always think they can brute force fate," she murmurs. "They always think refusal makes them strong." Her gaze sharpens. "But refusal just means you choose a different trap." Zoe's voice is tight. "Where is the dragon?" The Hesperid's smile widens like she loves the fear in the question. "Ladon is always near," she says softly. "He hears every footstep, every heartbeat, every lie." Naruto's senses stretch, searching for any sign heat, breath, movement. Nothing. That's worse. The Hesperid takes another step forward. "Tell me," she says, eyes on Naruto. "Why do you fear stealing? Heroes steal all the time. They call it destiny and sleep well." Naruto's jaw tightens. "I'm not stealing from my mother." Zoe stiffens. The Hesperid's eyes glitter. "Oh," she purrs, "so you know." Naruto's stomach drops. He clamps down on the reaction, too late to hide it fully. The Hesperid smiles like she just tasted blood. "The apples," she says softly, "are not just fruit. They are symbols. They are favors. They are claims." Her gaze turns sharp. "And someone has already claimed you." Zoe's hand twitches toward her bow. Naruto keeps his voice steady. Stop talking! The Hesperide smile fades into something colder. Then take them, she says. The grove goes silent, the sweetness thickens, and then the ground trembles. A hiss rolls through the cavern, deep and vibrating, like the earth itself is exhaling. Naruto's blood turns cold. From between the trees, something moves. Not fast, not loud, just inevitable. A massive serpent body coils around the grove, scales dark and glossy, eyes glowing like embers. The dragon's head rises above the trees, mouth opening to reveal teeth the size of daggers. Ladon. Zoe's breath catches. Her face goes pale, but her posture stays rigid, like she refuses to show fear even when fear is the only sane response. Naruto's grip tightens on his sword. The dragon's gaze locks on him, not on Zoe, on Naruto. The air compresses. The dragon's voice slides into the cavern, low and ancient. Another, it rumbles. Another little hero sent to die. Naruto's jaw tightens. I'm not here to die. Ladon's eyes narrow, amused. All who come here say that. The Hesperid steps back, smile returning like she's enjoying theater. Go on, she whispers. Take the apples. Prove the Moirai wrong. Prove Hera wrong. Prove Artemis wrong. Naruto's stomach knots at the name. Zoe steps close to Naruto, voice low. Do not engage it directly, she warns. The dragon's scales resist bronze. It's venom. Naruto cuts her off quietly. I know. Zoe's eyes flash. You don't know this. Naruto's gaze stays on Ladon. I know big monsters, he murmurs. They all have rules. We find the rule. Ladon's head lowers slightly, eyes narrowing. You smell like a caged beast, it says. Let it out. Show me. Naruto's chest tightens. It's bait. It wants him to flare, to light up the cavern, to announce himself to every watching power. He refuses. He spawns a single shadow clone at his side. Zoe stiffens, startled despite herself. The Hesperid's eyes widen with delighted interest. Ladon's mouth curls into a grin that is pure hunger. Yes, it whispers. More. Naruto's voice is calm. Zoe, he says. Zoe's eyes snap to him. What? Naruto points subtly toward the grove's edge where the trees are thickest. We don't take from the center, he murmurs. We take from the outside. We move fast. We don't get pinned. Zoe's jaw tightens. The apples are guarded everywhere. Naruto's eyes narrow. Then we split the dragon's attention. Zoe's breath catches. You're insane. Naruto's mouth twists slightly. Probably. He looks at his clone. You, he says quietly. Draw its eyes. Keep distance. Don't die. The clone nods. It sprints left, vanishing into the trees, moving fast and light. Ladon's head turns, tracking instantly. Good. Naruto moves right with Zoe, weaving between trees heavy with golden fruit. The scent is intoxicating. Naruto keeps his mouth shut, breath through his nose, refusing to let the sweetness hook into his brain. Zoe's eyes scan, bow half raised. They reach a low branch where 3 golden apples hang, glowing faintly. Naruto's hand lifts, and the air snaps. A coil of Ladon's body whips through the trees like a living wall, cutting off their path back. Zoe swears. The dragon's head rises above them again, eyes burning. Clever, it says, but not clever enough. The clone dashes through the grove, slashing at Ladon's coils, forcing the dragon to track it again. Ladon barely notices the strikes. It's too big, too old. But it does notice movement. The Hesperid's voice drifts through the grove, pleased. Yes, she murmurs. Run, fight, bleed. The labor loves drama. Naruto's jaw tightens. Ignore her. Zoe's voice is tight. I am trying. Naruto reaches up and grabs the branch. Golden apples are heavier than they look. The moment his fingers touch one, a jolt runs through him. Not pain, not lightning, but a sense of weight. Like he just grabbed a piece of fate. His stomach twists. He yanks once. The apple snaps free. Instantly, the grove screams. Not with sound, with pressure. The air goes hot, then cold. Ladon roars, and the roar shakes, leaves loose like rain. You have taken, the dragon snarls. Naruto's grip tightens on the apple. Yes. The dragon's head lunges toward him. Zoe raises her bow in a flash and fires, arrow streaking into Ladon's eye. It bounces off. The dragon doesn't even blink. Zoe's face goes pale. Naruto's blood turns cold, but his mind stays sharp. If eyes don't work, then it isn't a normal weak point. The dragon snaps its jaws. Naruto dives, rolling under the bite. Teeth slam into earth where he was. He comes up on one knee, apple clenched, sword raised. Zoe grabs his shoulder and yanks him into motion. Move! They sprint between trees as Ladon's coils whip around them like walls closing in. The clone pops somewhere in the grove, smoke bursting, and Ladon's head turns back toward Naruto again, locked. The Hesperid's laughter follows them. Naruto's chest tightens. The path out is closing. Zoe's voice is strained. We can't outrun it. Naruto's eyes flick ahead. A narrow gap between two stone pillars, the grove's edge, where the earth becomes rock again. If they reach it, they might escape the trees and regain open space. He points. There. They sprint. Ladon's coil slams down in front of them, cracking the earth, blocking the gap. Zoe skids, nearly falling. Naruto's mind snaps to the only solution left. He has avoided flaring. He has avoided revealing. But if he doesn't break this coil, they die here. He takes one breath and lets the beast inside him breathe out. Not a full roar, not a cloak, just enough. Orange pressure surges from his skin like heat shimmer. The air vibrates. Dust lifts from the ground. Ladon's eyes widen a fraction. Zoe's breath catches. Naruto drives his palm into the dragon's coil with a burst of chakra-enhanced force, compact, controlled, brutal. The coil shudders. Cracks spread across its scales like spiderwebs in stone. The coil lifts, just enough. Zoe and Naruto dart under it, sprinting through the gap. Behind them, Ladon roars, furious, and the grove shakes like it's trying to swallow them back. They burst into the rocky threshold beyond the grove, gasping, hearts pounding, and Naruto clutches the golden apple like it's a live grenade. Zoe grabs his sleeve, eyes wild. "What did you just do?" Naruto's voice is tight. Later. Because the cavern isn't quiet anymore. The torches along the threshold flare brighter. The air changes, and footsteps echo from the darkness ahead. Slow, measured, approaching like they belong. Zoe's face tightens. Someone's coming. Naruto's grip tightens on his sword and the apple. Because the labor isn't finished when you take the prize. It's finished when you walk out alive. And the shadows ahead are already shaping themselves into the next test. Footsteps echo closer, slow and certain, like whoever is coming isn't worried about running out of time. Zoe raises her bow, knocks an arrow with a motion that's too smooth to be learned in a normal life. Her eyes are narrowed, jaw locked, breathing controlled, but Naruto can see the tremor in her fingers. Not fear of fighting, fear of what this fight might mean. Naruto keeps the golden apple tucked tight against his ribs with his left arm and his bronze sword low in his right, blade angled to strike without flashing. The apple's glow bleeds through his sleeve, warm against his skin like a heartbeat that isn't his. The footsteps stop at the edge of torchlight. A figure steps forward. At first, the mist tries to soften it into something ordinary. A tall man in a dark coat. A security guard. A stern adult. Then the underworld peels the disguise away. Black armor. Bone-white mask. A spear that looks like it was forged from funeral metal. A cape that hangs heavy as if stitched from shadows. A soldier of the dead. Behind him, two more appear, then two more, forming a line across the corridor like a gate made of bodies. Zoe's voice goes low, furious. Underworld legionnaires. Naruto's eyes narrow. They work for Hades. Zoe's mouth tightens. They work for whoever holds the chain. The lead legionnaire tilts his skull mask slightly, studying Naruto like he's reading a warrant. Then his voice scrapes out, hollow and cold. By order of the Lord of the Dead, the stolen property will be surrendered. Naruto's jaw tightens. We didn't steal it from him. The legionnaire's spear tip lowers toward the apple's glow. It is underworld contraband now, it says. Everything that enters this realm belongs to it until permitted to leave. Zoe's eyes flash. That is not how the labor works. The legionnaire's mask doesn't change, but its voice gains a faint edge of amusement. Labor, it repeats. The Moirai do not own this corridor. Step forward, surrender, or be collected. Naruto feels the pull of those words. Collected. Like they're talking about a debt. Zoe shifts her stance, arrow aimed at the legionnaire's throat. We will not, she says, voice sharp as a blade. The legionnaire raises one hand, and the other soldiers tighten formation, spears angling, shields locking. Efficient, not emotional. Like they've ended 1,000 last stands and never felt anything. Naruto's mind moves fast. Legionnaires mean numbers. Numbers mean attrition. Zoe can kill 1, 2, maybe more. Naruto can carve a path, but the apple is weight and time and distraction. And there's a worse problem. If these soldiers are here, then that hooded figure from the pool wanted this outcome. It wanted them to grab the apple and get intercepted. It wanted the underworld to claim the labor prize. It wanted a fight that looks like theft. Zoe's voice tightens. Naruto. Naruto cuts in quietly. We don't fight to win. Zoe's eyes flick to him. Then what? Naruto's gaze stays on the legionnaires. We fight to leave. He glances at the corridor walls. The passage is narrow, but there are cracks in the stone, small side routes, old tunnels, structural weaknesses. Underworld architecture is built to funnel souls, not protect itself from a shinobi's obsession with exits. Naruto sees one, a narrow arch half hidden behind a fallen column. A sideway. He leans slightly towards Zoe. When I move, you cover. Aim for joints, knees, hands. Zoe's jaw tightens. They don't bleed. Naruto's voice is calm. They still fall. Zoe inhales once, sharp, and nods. Naruto steps forward into the torchlight. The lead legionnaire lifts its spear. Last warning. Naruto's eyes go cold. Move. The legionnaire thrusts. Naruto pivots and lets the spear pass where his chest was, then slashes the shaft near the head, bronze biting into funeral metal. Sparks hiss. The spearhead clatters to the ground. Zoe fires at the same time, arrow streaking into a legionnaire's knee joint. The soldier's leg buckles. It drops with a clang. Naruto darts forward, low and fast, and sweeps his blade across another soldier's ankle joint. Armor plates separate. The soldier falls. Not dead, but down. The legionnaires surge, trying to close the corridor with shields. Naruto's clones snap into existence. 2, then 3, forming a wedge. They slam into the shield line, shoving with chakra-enhanced force. Not enough to scream power, enough to break rhythm. Zoe fires again and again, not aiming for kills, aiming for breaks. Fingers, elbows. The small mechanics that make a soldier a soldier. A legionnaire swings a sword down at Naruto. Naruto catches it on his bronze blade. The impact numbs his arm. The sword is heavy, dead weight, literal and symbolic. He slides under the next strike and drives his shoulder into the soldier's midsection, using the apple's weight like a battering ram. The soldier staggers back. Naruto points, sharp. Now. Zoe sprints toward the fallen column, arrow still knocked, covering their retreat. Naruto's clones take the worst of the counterattacks. One is skewered through the chest, popping into smoke. Another is slammed into the wall, bursting. A third takes a sword strike meant for Naruto and vanishes. Each pop is a pulse of pain behind Naruto's eyes. He ignores it. He backs toward the side arch, slashing to keep space, refusing to let the shield wall close. The lead legionnaire steps forward, spear reformed in its hand as if the Underworld itself repairs it. The spear thrusts again, faster, smarter. Naruto twists, but the tip grazes his sleeve and sears the fabric like frostburn. The legionnaire's voice scrapes. You cannot leave with it. Naruto's jaw tightens. Watch me. He pivots sharply and drives his blade into the floor at an angle, leveraging it. Then he kicks the base of the fallen column. The column shifts, stone grinding, then collapses fully into the corridor, blocking the legionnaire's path with a thunderous crash. Dust explodes, choking the torchlight. Zoe is already through the side arch. Naruto dives after her, rolling, coming up in a crouch. The side tunnel is tighter, darker, older. The air smells like stale earth and forgotten promises. Behind them, the legionnaires clang and shove and begin clearing the blockage. Zoe runs without looking back, voice tight. You're drawing too much attention. Naruto's voice is flat. I know. Zoe shoots him a look over her shoulder, eyes sharp. Then stop. Naruto's mouth twists. After we get out alive? They race through the narrow tunnel as the stone behind them grinds and cracks. The legionnaires are coming. They don't tire, they don't panic, they just advance. The tunnel bends sharply and opens into a small chamber with 3 exits. One upward, one sideways, one down into a dark slit. Zoe stops, scanning. Which? Naruto's senses flare. He feels something in the upward passage, a faint warmth. A breath of air that smells less like death. A route out, he points. Up. Zoe doesn't argue. She sprints upward, Naruto right behind. The tunnel climbs steeply, carved into stone like a service route. The air gradually changes. Less heavy, less cold, still wrong, but less crushing. Then the ground trembles. A roar rolls through the tunnel behind them, deep, furious, not legionnaires, Ladon. Naruto's blood turns cold. Zoe's face tightens. It followed. Naruto's jaw clenches. Of course it did. The apple in his arm feels hotter now, like it's feeding the chase, like it's a flare. Zoe snarls. This is why the labor kills people. It never ends. It just layers. Naruto's voice is calm, deadly. Then we keep peeling layers until we reach daylight. They burst out of the tunnel onto a ledge overlooking a different cavern, one that looks less like the Underworld and more like a fault line between realms. Stone breaks into jagged terraces. Faint natural light filters down from a crack above, pale and distant. A path winds along the terraces toward that crack. Zoe's eyes lock on it. That's the seam, she whispers. A weak place. Naruto nods. We go. They sprint along the terrace path. The cavern shakes behind them. Ladon's hiss grows louder, closer, massive body-scraping stone as it forces itself into tunnels too small for it, tearing the Underworld's architecture open like paper. The Legionnaire's clanging follows too, echoing like a marching drum. 2 forces behind them, 1 goal ahead. Naruto's breath stays controlled, but his body starts to burn, not from exhaustion, he survived worse, but from the constant micro-decisions, the constant tension, the constant refusal to unleash the power that would make this simple. He feels the nine-tails press against his ribs like a thing waking up. Let me out, it seems to say. Let me break this place. Naruto grits his teeth. Not yet. Zoe glances at him, reading the tension. If you have something, she says tightly, use it. Naruto's eyes narrow. And light up the whole underworld? No. Zoe's voice cracks with frustration. Then we die. Naruto's voice stays cold. We die if we get caught, not if we keep moving. The terrace narrows. The crack above looks closer now. Light stronger, air fresher. Then the path ahead shimmers. Naruto skids to a stop. Zoe stops too, bow raised. A figure steps out of the shimmer like the world parts for it. Same hood. Same calm. The string puller. It stands in the center of the terrace path, blocking the route to the seam. Naruto's stomach drops. You. The figure's head tilts slightly. Me. Zoe's arrow locks on it instantly. Move. The figure doesn't move. It doesn't flinch. It just watches them like a teacher watching students run into the lesson. You've done well, it says softly. You've taken what you were meant to take. Naruto's eyes go cold. You said this. The figure's voice is almost amused. I guided, it corrects. The Moirai love guided stories. Zoe snarls. Who are you? The figure pauses like it enjoys the question. A messenger, it says. A gardener. A spark in dry grass. Naruto's grip tightens around the apple. Eris. The figure's head tilts again and a soft laugh escapes. Close, it murmurs, but not quite. Zoe's arrow trembles slightly. If you don't move. The figure lifts one hand, palm open. The air tightens. Zoe's arrow does not fire. Her fingers twitch as if they're stuck, like invisible strings have wrapped around her joints. Naruto's stomach knots. The figure's gaze shifts to Naruto. Do you feel it? It asks. The threads? They hate you, don't they? A boy who refuses to bow? A soul that won't sit inside the role it was handed? Naruto's voice is low. Stop talking. The figure smiles under the hood. Naruto can feel it even without seeing it. You took the apple, it says. Now the labor demands payment. Naruto's eyes narrow. Payment. The figure gestures toward the crack above. Freedom, it says, almost tender. You can leave. You can climb. You can run back to your camp with your golden proof. Naruto's jaw tightens. And? The figure's voice turns colder. And you leave the hunter. Zoe's eyes flare. Rage and fear. No. Naruto's blood turns cold. You want her. The figure's tone becomes almost gentle. I want balance, it says. A goddess binds herself to keep her hunt pure. A hunter binds herself to prove loyalty. A foreign boy arrives and disrupts the vows like a stone dropped into still water. Naruto's jaw clenches. You're trying to force a choice. The figure nods, slow. That is the point of every good tragedy, it says. A choice that costs. Zoe strains against invisible restraint, teeth clenched. Naruto don't. Naruto's eyes narrow. He feels Ladon's roar behind them, closer now. He hears legionnaires clanging, also closing. Time is collapsing. The figure's voice softens. Leave her, it whispers. And you live. Stay, it says. And you both die, and the apple returns to the garden, and the Moirai laugh at the anomaly that thought it could win. Naruto's hands shake for the smallest fraction. Konoha taught him that the mission comes first, that you sacrifice pawns, that you accept loss because loss is inevitable. But Konoha also taught him what happens when you become the person who sacrifices everyone and calls it strategy. You become hollow. Naruto looks at Zoe. She hates him. She fears him. She's been ready to shove him under the wheels of destiny to protect Artemis. And she still came. Because the alternative was worse. Naruto exhales slowly. He makes the choice. He steps forward. The figure's hood tilts, curious. Naruto's voice is calm. You want her? The figure's tone is pleased. Yes. Naruto's eyes go cold. Then you can try. He moves, not lunging, vanishing. A burst of speed, compact chakra, not a flare. An execution. He closes the distance and slashes upward at the figure's wrist. The blade meets resistance, not flesh. Something like air turns solid. The figure's hand snaps back, surprised. The invisible restraint on Zoe's fingers loosens. Her arrow finally releases, flying straight at the hooded figure's chest. The arrow hits, and passes through like smoke. Zoe's eyes widen. What? The figure laughs softly. Physical threats, it murmurs. So charming. Naruto's stomach drops. It isn't fully here, like the Wraith, but smarter. Anchored by the Underworld itself. Naruto's mind snaps into a new rule. You can't kill it, not like this, so you don't fight it, you break the stage. Naruto pivots and drives his sword into the stone terrace at the figure's feet. He pours chakra into the strike, controlled, focused, cracking rock. Stone fractures. The terrace shudders. The figure's head snaps down, startled. Naruto slams his foot into the crack and kicks. The terrace edge collapses. Not the whole path, just a section. Enough to force a gap between them and the figure. The hooded figure drifts backward like mist pulled by wind, cloak fluttering. Zoe stumbles as the ground shifts, catching herself on a rock. The figure's voice hardens. Bold, it says. And foolish. Naruto grabs Zoe's wrist and yanks. Move! They sprint toward the crack above. Behind them, Ladon's roar shakes the cavern as the dragon forces its head into view, massive and furious. The legionnaires appear too, armor clanging as they reach the terrace. The hooded figure hovers behind them all, like a conductor watching the orchestra swell. Zoe runs hard, breath ragged, eyes furious. You just made every enemy in the underworld chase us at once. Naruto's voice is tight. Better than leaving you. Zoe's head snaps toward him. Why? Naruto doesn't answer immediately. Because the answer is complicated, and complicated answers get you killed. He says the simplest truth. Because I don't trade people. Zoe's eyes flicker. Something like shock, then anger at herself for feeling anything. They reach the crack. It isn't an open hole. It's a vertical seam in stone where pale light pours down like a thin waterfall. The air there tastes like above. Salt, wind, life. Zoe points to a narrow climbable path. Up! They start climbing. Naruto tucks the apple tighter, one-handed climbing, fingers burning. Zoe climbs above him fast, driven. Below, Ladon roars again, slamming coils against the terrace, trying to reach the seam. The cavern shakes as stone chips fall. The legionnaires begin climbing too, impossibly steady, spears in hand even while scaling rock. The hooded figure does not climb. It watches. And its voice rises, carried perfectly through the cavern, as if the seam itself is an amplifier. Good, it calls. Run, struggle, make your choice mean something. Naruto climbs faster, muscles screaming. Zoe glances down, sees the legionnaires gaining. She swears, "We won't make it!" Naruto's jaw tightens. He looks upward. The seam narrows near the top. Light grows brighter. But there's a bottleneck. Only one person can squeeze through at a time. A choke point. Naruto's mind runs the math instantly. If they both try to squeeze through while the legionnaires climb, someone gets grabbed. Someone gets pulled back down. Naruto's chest tightens. Zoe climbs, then pauses, realizing the same thing. She looks down at Naruto, eyes hard. Give me the apple. Naruto freezes for half a heartbeat. No. Zoe's eyes blaze. If we lose it, Artemis. Naruto's voice snaps, controlled and sharp. This isn't about Artemis right now. This is about survival. Zoe's jaw tightens. You don't understand. Naruto's gaze goes colder. Then explain. Zoe hesitates, just a fraction. Then she whispers, tight and raw. If you fail this labor, the vow tightens. She loses years. She loses freedom. She loses freedom. She loses. Her voice catches, furious at herself. She loses dignity. Naruto's throat tightens. So it's real. The pact. The countdown. The 9 years. Naruto looks up at the seam. He makes the decision before his fear can argue. Go, he says. Zoe blinks. What? Naruto's voice is steady. You go first. Squeeze through. Get above. Then pull. Zoe's eyes narrow. And you? Naruto's jaw tightens. I'll hold them. Zoe's expression twists. I hate you, she says, like it's the only safe thing she can say in a moment like this. Naruto's mouth pulls tight. Then hate me from above. Zoe hesitates for a heartbeat longer, then climbs, fast, desperate. She reaches the seam bottleneck and begins squeezing through. Below, the first legionnaire reaches Naruto's level, spear thrusting upward. Naruto's eyes narrow. He can't dodge much on a cliff face, so he does the one thing he can. He drops, not falling to death, dropping just enough to change angle. The spear misses by inches, scraping rock. Naruto swings with one hand, slashing the spear shaft near the head again. Funeral metal sparks. The spearhead falls. The legionnaire reaches for Naruto's ankle with a bony grip. Naruto drives his knee into its hand and kicks it off the wall. The legionnaire falls, armor clanging, disappearing into darkness below like a stone tossed into a well. 2 more climb up. Naruto's arms burn, his fingers cramp. The apple's weight presses against his ribs like a curse. Zoe's voice echoes from above, strained. I'm through, hold on, Naruto snarls. Hurry. The dragon roars below, so close now Naruto can feel heat on the back of his legs. Ladon's head rears, jaws opening, trying to bite the climbing path itself. Naruto's skin prickles. If Ladon hits the wall hard enough, the entire scene could collapse. The hooded figure's voice rises again, pleased. Yes, it purrs. This is where heroes break. Naruto's jaw tightens. Shut up. He spawns one last clone, an expensive move here, but necessary. The clone appears beside him on the wall, immediately slashing at a legionnaire's fingers, forcing it to lose grip. The clone takes a spear through the chest and pops into smoke. Naruto's head throbs. Zoe's hand appears through the seam above, reaching down. Now, she shouts. Naruto climbs hard, muscles screaming, fingers tearing on rock. A legionnaire grabs his ankle. Naruto kicks, twisting, and the legionnaire loses grip and falls. Naruto reaches Zoe's hand. She grabs his wrist like a vice. Naruto squeezes through the seam, shoulders scraping stone. The apples glow, lighting the narrow gap. For a breathless second, he thinks the seam will trap him, like the underworld will bite and refuse to let go. Then Zoe yanks. Naruto spills out into air. Real air. Wind hits his face, cold and alive. Pale sky above. Not daylight exactly, more like dawn filtered through storm clouds. But it's above. He rolls on grass. Grass, not stone, not bone, not underworld. He gasps, chest heaving, and clutches the apple like it's still trying to crawl back down his throat. Zoe collapses beside him, breathing hard, eyes wild. Below them, the scene crack shudders once like something huge slams into it. Then it seals with a grinding rumble, leaving only solid earth and a faint vibration like distant thunder. The chase stops. Silence falls, broken only by wind and their breathing. Zoe sits up slowly, hair falling across her face, expression tight with rage and something else she refuses to name. Naruto sits up too, wiping blood from his cheek with the back of his hand. They're on a rocky hillside under a gray sky. Not camp, not city, a liminal place between. Zoe's voice is low. "You brought it out," she says, and her gaze flicks to Naruto's body like she's searching for the orange shimmer again. Naruto's eyes narrow. A thread, not a roar. Zoe's jaw tightens. Enough. Ladon reacted. The Legion reacted. The strings reacted. Naruto's voice stays calm. "We're alive." Zoe looks away, breathing hard. For now. Naruto looks at the golden apple in his hand. It glows faintly, warm, heavy, too important. He feels the labor's weight settle in his chest. Not relief, not victory, but the sense that the world has recorded a move. Zoe speaks again, quieter now. "The Moirai will know you completed the retrieval," she says. "But completion isn't just taking, it's returning." Naruto's jaw tightens. Returning to who? Zoe's eyes flicker. To the one who issued the labor? Naruto's stomach twists. Hera. Zoe nods once, bitter. Naruto exhales slowly. "Then we go back to Percy." Zoe stiffens. "Percy is not your problem." Naruto's gaze goes cold. "He's on my quest." Zoe's voice sharpens. "Your quest split." Naruto's jaw tightens. "Then we stitch it back together." Zoe stares at him like he's insane, then laughs once, bitter and exhausted. "You really don't understand how gods work." Naruto stands, small body steady, apple tucked under his arm. "I understand power," he says. "And I understand war. And I understand that if we let this messenger steer the story, we lose." Zoe's eyes narrow. "Messenger." Naruto nods. "It's not Eris," he murmurs, "but it's close. A force that wants discord. A thing that watches and nudges and doesn't get its hands dirty." Zoe's jaw tightens. "If you're right, then it will strike again." Naruto looks toward the horizon, where the sky is darker in one direction, like a storm squatting over the land. It already is. Zoe's eyes follow his gaze. A distant sound carries on the wind, but unmistakable. A horn. Not camp's horn. A hunting call. Zoe's face tightens. "Hunters," she whispers. Naruto's stomach knots. "Artemis's." Zoe's voice is tight. They're searching. Naruto looks down at the apple again and understands the trap's next layer. If the hunters find them here, with the apple, with Zoe, with Naruto having refused to abandon her, the vow tightens. The story shifts. The goddess gets pulled into the board whether she wants it or not. Zoe's jaw clenches as if she understands the same thing. "We can't be seen," she says. Naruto's eyes narrow. "We need a route back to the others." Zoe swallows, then points toward the far slope. "There is a path," she says reluctantly. "A way station. A mortal road. We can move through the mist." Naruto nods, then move. They start down the hillside fast, staying low, using rocks and brush for cover. The horn sounds again, closer now. Zoe's breathing tightens, panic threatening to leak through her discipline. Naruto keeps his movements controlled, like he's leading an extraction. They reach the edge of a tree line. Zoe pauses, listening. The horn stops. For a moment, only wind. Then a voice echoes through the trees, female and sharp. "Zoe Nightshade." Zoe freezes. Naruto's blood turns cold. The voice isn't a hunter, it's Artemis. Not in a dream, in the air, real. Zoe's eyes go wide, horrified, like her worst fear just stepped into reality. Naruto's chest tightens, because Artemis is close enough to call her lieutenant by name, close enough to find them. And Naruto can already feel the pressure of a goddess approaching, like the sky itself is lowering to watch. Zoe whispers, voice breaking for the first time, "Nah." Naruto's jaw tightens. He grips the golden apple, feeling its heat pulse like a curse. And in the trees ahead, silver light begins to bloom between trunks, brightening like moonrise in the middle of day. An opening, a portal, a goddess stepping through the world's skin. Artemis is coming, and Naruto has seconds to decide whether he's going to face her with the truth, or with another lie that will tighten the vow until it snaps. Artemis is coming. The trees ahead glow silver, and the air bends like the world is making room for her. The hunter's horns stop. Even the wind holds its breath. Zoe freezes like her bones just turned to ice. Naruto doesn't move. He feels the golden apple under his arm pulse warm, like it's proud of being the problem. He hates it. He hates that a labor can be carried in your hand like a trophy, while it digs hooks into your life like a curse. The silver light expands between trunks. A doorway of moonlight opens, and Artemis steps through. She isn't a dream now. No shoreline, no mercy of distance. She's right there, tall, calm, dressed like a goddess who chose the wild over thrones. Her hair's dark, her eyes silver, her face unreadable in a way that makes Naruto's stomach tighten, because unreadable on a god isn't neutral, it's controlled. Behind her, hunters appear like shadows given bodies, bows raised, eyes sharp, fingers ready. Zoe drops to one knee instantly, head bowed. My lady. Artemis doesn't look at the hunters first. She looks at Naruto. The air tightens around him like a hand. Naruto doesn't kneel. He doesn't bow. He keeps his feet planted and his face calm because he's learned something in every war he's ever survived. If you give power an inch, it takes your throat. Artemis's voice is quiet. You left my camp. Naruto's jaw tightens. I was taken. Her gaze flicks to the apple under his arm. The silver in her eyes flashes. You took what you should not touch. Naruto's voice stays controlled. Hera made it a labor. Artemis's lips press into a thin line. For a heartbeat, he sees something beneath the mask. Anger, yes, but also the strain of holding something back. Zoe's voice shakes. My lady, it was necessary. He saved me. Artemis's gaze snaps to Zoe, sharp enough to cut. Saved you, she repeats. Zoe flinches. The Underworld Legion came. Ladon followed. Presence, tried to force a choice. He refused to leave me. A murmur moves through the hunters. Not approval. Suspicion. Artemis looks back at Naruto. You refused, she says softly, like she's testing the word. Naruto's eyes don't waver. Yes. Artemis steps forward one slow step, and the hunters behind her tense. Silver light brushes Naruto's skin. His body wants to recoil. His mind refuses. You don't understand, Artemis says. Refusing is not always virtue. Sometimes it is arrogance. Naruto's jaw tightens. I didn't refuse the labor. Artemis's eyes narrow. You refused the consequence that was offered. Naruto exhales slowly. I refuse to trade someone. Her gaze hardens. And now you have brought my hunters into this. Zoe whispers, desperate. It wasn't his plan. Artemis lifts a hand without looking at Zoe. Zoe goes silent instantly. The gesture makes Naruto's stomach twist. He's seen commanders silent soldiers. He's seen leaders with authority that doesn't need explanation. Artemis's voice lowers. You carry foreign divine blood, she says. You carry a beast that does not belong to our sky. And you have stepped into vows you cannot see. Naruto's grip tightens on the apple. Then tell me the vow. Artemis's eyes flash. No. Naruto's jaw tightens. Why? Artemis's voice is tight, almost angry at herself. Because names make chains heavier, she says. And you are already dragging enough chain. Naruto's throat tightens. 9 years. The words slip out like a blade drawn too fast. Zoe goes rigid. The hunters stir. Artemis's face goes still. For one long heartbeat, the world hangs. Artemis's eyes narrow to slits. You know, Naruto's voice stays calm. I know enough. Artemis steps closer. The silver light intensifies. The hunter's bows rise a fraction. If you speak it again, Artemis says softly, it tightens. Naruto holds her gaze. Then I won't speak it. But I'm not your enemy. Artemis's lips curl, not a smile. Every enemy says that. Naruto's jaw clenches. Then test my actions, not your fear. That lands, not because it's clever, because it's blunt enough to cut through divine pride. Artemis's gaze flickers just once to the golden apple under Naruto's arm, then to Zoe kneeling, then back to Naruto. You have completed the retrieval, she says quietly. But you have not completed the labor. Naruto nods. I need to return it to Hera. Then I go back to my quest team. Artemis's eyes harden. You will not go back to camp with that apple in your possession. Naruto's stomach drops. Why? Artemis's voice is cold. Because it will ignite every vow in my hunters like dry grass. Because you are not allowed to be near them while the pack strains. Zoe's breath catches. Naruto's jaw tightens. So what? You take it? Artemis's gaze sharpens. If I take it, Hera claims I interfered. If I let you keep it, the Moirai tighten the line. If I let my hunters see it, they panic. Naruto hears it beneath her words. She's trapped too. His voice softens only slightly. Then, help me move unseen. Artemis's eyes flash. Help you. Naruto doesn't flinch. You want this done clean, so do I. Artemis studies him like she's deciding whether to hate him more or hate the situation more. Her gaze shifts to Zoe. Stand, she commands. Zoe rises shakily. Artemis looks at Zoe like a blade about to cut. You disobeyed my formation. Zoe swallows. Yes, my lady. Artemis's voice tightens. You let yourself be cornered. Zoe's jaw clenches. Yes, my lady. Artemis's eyes narrow. And you allowed him to reveal what is inside him. Zoe flinches. I? Artemis raises a hand. Enough. The hunters behind her stir, ready for punishment. Naruto's jaw tightens. He steps half a pace forward. Don't punish her for surviving. Artemis's gaze snaps to him like lightning. Do not tell me how to lead. Naruto meets her eyes. Then don't tell me how to be human. Silence drops like a stone. Zoe looks horrified. The hunters look ready to shoot. Artemis stands very still. Then she exhales, slow, controlled. Your mouth will kill you, she says. Naruto's voice is calm. Maybe. But it won't kill her. Artemis's gaze lingers on him, and for a heartbeat Naruto sees the goddess behind the vows. Someone who chose solitude to avoid becoming someone else's peace, only to find herself chained anyway. Her voice lowers. You will not be alone, Artemis says, and the words sound like a curse and a promise at once. Not while this pack stands. Naruto's stomach tightens. I don't want your attention. Artemis's eyes harden. Then finish quickly. She lifts her hand. Moonlight folds around Naruto and Zoe like a cloak. The world blurs. The trees stretch. The air shifts. The hunters vanish. The hillside vanishes. And Naruto feels the sensation of being moved again, like a hand picking up a piece and placing it somewhere else without asking. He hates it. When the blur clears, they are on a roadside shoulder under a gray sky. Mortal cars hiss past in the distance like nothing supernatural exists. The mist sits heavy here, smoothing edges, hiding the impossible. Zoe staggers slightly, catching herself. Naruto stays steady, Abel still tucked tight. Artemis stands across from them, silver glow muted under the mist, but still undeniable. You will go, Artemis says, gaze fixed on Naruto, to Hera. You will return what you took. You will not linger. Naruto nods once. Then I find Percy. Artemis's lips press thin. Percy Jackson's path is already burning. Naruto's eyes narrow. Where is he? Artemis's gaze flicks away for a fraction, like she's listening to distant threads. Near the mortal bag, she says. Naruto's stomach tightens. The bag, the backpack, the clue Hera gave. So, he found it. Artemis looks back at Naruto. And when you see him, she says quietly, you will not speak of the pact. You will not speak of the years. All Naruto's jaw tightens. I won't tighten your chain. Artemis's eyes flash. Good. Her gaze shifts to Zoe. You return with me. Zoe stiffens. My lady. Artemis's voice cuts. Now. Zoe's shoulders tremble once, then she bows her head. Yes, my lady. Zoe looks at Naruto one last time, rage and confusion and something else she refuses to name. You're trouble, she whispers. Naruto's mouth twists slightly. So are you. Zoe's eyes harden, then soften for the smallest heartbeat. Finish it, she says. Then Artemis opens a doorway of moonlight again. Zoe steps through. Artemis follows. Before Artemis disappears, she looks back at Naruto. Her voice is quiet. Do not make me regret letting you walk free. Naruto holds her gaze. Then don't give me reasons. The portal closes. Naruto stands alone on the roadside, wind cutting, apple glowing faintly under his sleeve. Then he moves. He travels the way demigods travel bus routes, side roads, keeping low, staying inside the mist. He pays with drachma when he needs to. He keeps his head down when he's near mortals, and the whole time, he feels it. The watching. The string puller's attention like a fingertip on the back of his neck. Hours blur. The sky shifts from gray to darker gray. The world above feels thin compared to the underworld's pressure, but the danger doesn't fade. It just changes shape. He finds the trail by instinct more than logic. A scent of saltwater panic. A faint echo of bronze. The tug of prophecy like Annabeth described, pulling him toward the next problem. He reaches an abandoned subway entrance at the edge of a city, cordoned off with a flimsy gate mortals would ignore. The mist tries to make it look like a maintenance area. Naruto sees through it. He slips inside. Down the stairs, the air thickens. Not underworld thick, but close, like a doorway nearby. He hears voices. Percy's, strained and angry. Annabeth's, sharp and focused. Naruto moves quietly and rounds a corner into a wide underground station that doesn't match any map. The lights flicker sickly green. Shadows cling to the ceiling. Percy stands in the center, soaked, breathing hard, sword back in his hand. His eyes are wild, tired, furious. Annabeth stands beside him, hair messy, face smudged, dagger drawn. Between them and the far tunnel is Luke Castellan. He holds a worn backpack in his hand like it's nothing. Naruto's stomach drops. Because the simple mortal bag Hera described isn't some random clue, it's Luke's. Luke's smile is easy, too easy. "Hey," he says, like they ran into each other at camp, like this is casual. "You guys look awful." Percy's voice shakes with rage. "Give it back." Luke tilts his head. "Give what back?" Annabeth's eyes are narrowed to slits. "The diadem. Stop pretending." Luke sighs as if they're exhausting. "You always were too smart for your own good, Annabeth." Naruto steps into view. Luke's eyes flick to him instantly, and something sharp flashes behind the smile. Not surprise, recognition. Like he knew Naruto would return, like the board's pieces are landing where he expected. "Look who made it back," Luke says lightly. Percy's head snaps toward Naruto. Relief flickers, then hardens into urgency. "Naruto, he has it." Naruto's voice is calm, cold. "I can see." Annabeth's gaze flicks to Naruto's sleeve and she sees the faint golden glow through fabric. Her eyes widen. "You did it," she whispers. Naruto doesn't answer. He keeps his eyes on Luke. Luke's smile tightens as he notices it too. "Oh," he murmurs, "so you got your prize." Naruto's jaw tightens. "You stole Hera's diadem." Luke shrugs. "Borrowed, took, rescued." Words are flexible. Percy steps forward, sword raised. "Why?" Luke's eyes flick to Percy, and the smile fades into something tired and angry and old. "Because I'm done being a pawn," he says quietly. "Because the gods use kids like arrows and throw them until they break." Annabeth's voice cracks. "Luke, don't." Luke looks at her, and for a heartbeat the mask slips. There's pain there, real pain. Then it hardens into resolve. "You don't get it," Luke says. "You still think if you do everything right, Athena will pat your head. You still think if you bleed enough, Olympus will call you hero and make it worth it." Annabeth's jaw tightens. "This is treason." Luke laughs softly. "It's survival." Naruto's eyes narrow. "And starting the God War is survival." Luke's gaze slides to Naruto, sharp. "You of all people should understand war," he says. "War resets the world. War breaks chains." Naruto's voice is cold. "War breaks kids." Luke's smile twitches. "Yeah," he says, "it does." The lights flicker. The air shifts. A presence stirs in the tunnel behind Luke like something enormous turning over in sleep. Annabeth's face goes pale. "Luke, what did you bring here?" Luke's eyes flash with something like triumph. "A sponsor," he says, and a hooded figure steps out of the darkness behind him. The string puller. Not fully solid, not fully ghost, but present enough that the air goes tight. Percy's grip tightens. "You!" The figure's voice hums through the station like a whisper in stone. "Hello again," it says. "Isn't it beautiful? How quickly blame becomes destiny." Naruto's jaw tightens. "You're the one guiding." The figure's head tilts. "I prefer inviting," it murmurs. Eris throws an apple and watches God snarl. "I simply encourage." Luke stands beside it like a student beside a teacher. "They won't listen unless it hurts," he says, voice tight. "They won't change unless it burns." Annabeth's eyes shine, furious and hurt. "You're letting it use you." Luke's smile turns sad. "Maybe," he says, "but at least I'm choosing." The figure's gaze slides to Naruto's sleeve. "And you," it murmurs, "you brought your apple too. How poetic." Naruto's chest tightens. "Two apples, two sparks. One for Hera, one for discord." The station feels like a tinderbox. Percy steps forward, voice raw. "We're not doing this. Give it back." Luke raises the backpack slightly. "If I give it back," he says quietly, "nothing changes. They'll blame Hades. They'll punish someone. They'll move on. And kids will keep dying." Naruto's eyes go cold. "So you kill more kids to stop kids dying." Luke flinches just a fraction. The hooded figure whispers, "Pleased." "Say it," it murmurs. "Say the truth. Make him feel it." Naruto's jaw tightens. He suddenly understands the figure's game. It isn't just war. It's guilt. It's turning people into weapons by making them believe there is no clean path. Naruto steps forward slowly and pulls the golden apple from under his sleeve. The glow lights the station. Annabeth's breath catches. Luke's eyes widen slightly. The hooded figure's voice softens. "Hungry, yes." Naruto holds the apple up, not offering it, just showing it. "You want sparks?" Naruto says, voice calm and deadly. "Then here's one." The hooded figure leans forward slightly, almost eager. Naruto's eyes narrow. "But you don't get to choose where it lands." He pivots and throws the apple hard into the far tunnel, away from everyone. The golden fruit arcs through the air like a small sun. For a heartbeat, the station is frozen. Then the apple hits the ground and shatters. Not in the pulp, but into a burst of golden light that floods the tunnel like dawn exploding in darkness. The hooded figure recoils sharply, as if the light is pain. Luke flinches too, eyes wide. Annabeth stares. Percy's mouth opens. Naruto doesn't wait for anyone to understand. He moves. He darts forward and slashes the backpack strap with bronze. The bag drops. Percy lunges for it at the same time. His fingers close around it. Annabeth grabs Percy's shoulder and yanks him back as the hooded figure screams. An ugly sound, furious, exposed. The station shakes. The lights flicker wildly. The hooded figure's voice warps, no longer smooth. "You do not get to waste symbols," it hisses. Naruto's voice is cold. "Watch me." Luke steps back, face torn between panic and rage. "You idiot," he snaps at Naruto. "That apple," Naruto cuts him off, "wasn't yours." Percy grips the backpack and yanks it open with shaking hands. Inside, wrapped in cloth, is the diadem, golden, heavy, radiating authority like heat. Annabeth's breath catches like she's seeing a bomb. Percy looks up at Luke, eyes furious and hurt. "Why?" he demands. "Why you?" Luke's jaw clenches. "Because nobody else will do what needs doing," he says, voice cracking. "Because I'm tired of watching kids die for gods who don't even say thank you." Annabeth's voice breaks. "Luke, stop." Luke's eyes flick to her pain, love, anger, all tangled. Then he looks at the hooded figure, and the hooded figure steadies, pulling itself back into calm like a mask sliding into place. "Enough," the figure says softly. "The diadem returns today or tomorrow. War comes regardless. But you," its gaze locks on Naruto, "you were supposed to carry the labor proof like a badge. You were supposed to tighten Artemis's chain. You were supposed to learn that all choices cost blood." Naruto's voice is calm. "I already knew." The figure's head tilts. "Then why refuse the lesson?" Naruto's eyes go colder. "Because your lesson is rigged." The figure's voice turns thin. "You think you won?" Naruto's jaw tightens. "No," he says. "I think I delayed you." Percy clutches the diadem bundle. Annabeth grabs his arm. "We leave," she says sharply. "Now." Luke steps forward, desperation flaring. "Don't take it to Hera," he pleads, voice raw. "She'll use it, she'll spin it, she'll punish." Percy's eyes blaze. "You stole it," he snaps. "You started this." Luke flinches like he got hit. Naruto watches Luke, and for a heartbeat he sees it. The boy Luke used to be, the one who wanted to be good and got crushed into something harder. Naruto's voice is quiet, blunt. "You can still stop being used." Luke's eyes widen slightly, almost hopeful. Then the hooded figure's presence presses against him like a hand on the back of his neck, and Luke's face hardens again. "It's too late," Luke says. Naruto's eyes narrow. "It's never too late. It's just expensive." The hooded figure laughs softly. "How noble," it murmurs. "How naive." The station trembles harder. The golden light in the tunnel begins to fade, and as it fades, the cold comes back. Underworld cold, Discord cold. Naruto's stomach tightens. The distraction is ending. "Move!" Naruto snaps. Percy and Annabeth sprint toward the stairs. Naruto runs behind them. Luke shouts after them, voice breaking. "Annabeth!" Annabeth doesn't look back. If she does, she breaks. Naruto can see it in the stiffness of her shoulders. They hit the stairs and climb fast, bursting into the mortal world as the mist smooths the station behind them into nothing. Sirens wail somewhere far. People move on sidewalks. Nobody looks at the three kids running like their lives depend on it. Because they do. They reach an empty alley and stop long enough to breathe. Percy clutches the diadem bundle like it might bite. "We got it," he gasps. Annabeth's voice is tight, almost shaking. "We have to return it." Naruto's jaw tightens, and we have to prepare for what returning it means. Percy looks at him, eyes haunted. "Luke, he's gone." Annabeth squeezes her eyes shut for a second, then forces them open. "We don't have time to grieve," she whispers, but her voice cracks anyway. Naruto watches the sky. He can feel something shifting, like thunder behind clouds. He speaks quietly. "Hera will want the diadem. Artemis will want the pack stable. The hooded thing will want chaos. And Luke," Percy's voice is raw, "Luke will want revenge." Naruto nods once. "War is coming." They move again, following the pull, until the air changes, the familiar boundary sensation, the sudden lightness of protection. Camp Half-Blood. They slip back through the trees as evening settles. Campers stare as soon as they appear. Word spreads fast. Chiron is waiting near the big house, face grim. Hera is not visible. Of course she isn't. Queens don't show up unless they want an audience. Percy steps forward and holds out the diadem bundle. The air tightens. A shimmer forms above the offering fire, and Hera's voice fills the clearing like judgment. "You have returned what is mine." Percy swallows. "Yes, Lady Hera." The diadem lifts from Percy's hands without touch. Floating upward, glowing faintly, then vanishing into the shimmer like it was never there. For a heartbeat, the camp exhales. Then Hera's voice turns colder. The thief will be punished, she says. The liar will be revealed. The war will be managed. Managed. Like wars are pets. Naruto's jaw tightens. Hera's voice slides to him. And you, she says softly, you have brought proof. Naruto says nothing. He doesn't pull out an apple. He doesn't need to. The fates already know. He feels it in the way the air holds him like a thread. Hera's voice is sharp. Do not presume your anomaly makes you immune. Naruto's eyes narrow. I don't presume, I prepare. A ripple of tension moves through the camp at his audacity. Hera pauses, then her voice becomes thin. We will see, she says, and the shimmer fades. Silence returns. Chiron steps forward slowly. You did well, he says to Percy and Annabeth, then looks at Naruto, gaze heavy. All of you. Naruto's voice is quiet. Luke did this. Chiron's expression tightens. Yes. Annabeth's shoulders shake once. She hides it fast. Percy's jaw clenches. The hooded thing was with him. Chiron's eyes narrow. Eris, he murmurs, but the way he says it sounds like he isn't sure it's only her. Like he's heard older names whispering beneath newer ones. Naruto feels the same uncertainty, because the figure didn't feel like a goddess who likes pranks. It felt like something that likes endings. The camp begins to move again, returning to routines that pretend the world isn't cracking. Percy and Annabeth stand with Naruto near the fire, quiet, exhausted, alive. Percy finally speaks, voice low. So what now? Naruto stares into the flames. Now we train, he says. Now we watch. Now we don't let them move us without cost. Annabeth wipes her face roughly. Luke knows the camp. He knows our weaknesses. Naruto nods. Then we learn his. Percy swallows. And Artemis? Naruto's jaw tightens. Artemis is chained. Annabeth's eyes sharpen. By what? Naruto holds his tongue. He feels the vows' invisible teeth. He refuses to tighten it. He answers with the safest truth. By gods. Annabeth exhales, frustrated, but doesn't push. Not now. The fire crackles. Sparks rise. Offerings burn. Naruto watches the flames and thinks of golden light in an underground tunnel, of a hooded smile, of Luke's cracked voice, of Artemis's cold warning, of Zoe's rigid hatred that hid fear. He thinks of Kushina's letter, of a promise made somewhere beyond this world. He thinks of the beast inside him pressing against its cage, and he understands the final shape of the problem. This wasn't one quest. It was a declaration. The board has been set. The pieces have moved. And the next time the hooded thing speaks, it won't be inviting. It will be demanding. Naruto turns away from the fire, eyes hard, and walks toward the cabins with Percy and Annabeth beside him. 3 kids carrying too much war inside their chests and pretending, for one more night, that camp is still just camp. The end. If you want more cinematic, what if recaps like this, hit like, comment your favorite moment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next story.